All right. Let's see what we gotta do here, people. I'm trying to get all the cameras set up correctly. Let's see, here we go. Oh, Facebook always wants to be a pain in the butt on Monday night. I don't know why. So we've got a giant big canvas for you guys today. A 36 by 36. This thing is humongous. I had to stick you guys way back there just to be able to see this whole thing. So, what's happening, everybody? How you doing? It's going to be a good time. Now, we've taken for our number 900. This is the 900th painting we've ever painted in our lives. So we've taken our Bob Ross liquid white and our liquid clear. I have to get really close to you guys. Way up there, right? Bob Ross liquid white and liquid clear. And we took the clear and we put it in the black section. We took the white and we put it in the white section. And that makes our canvas wet. I get the question all the time. They're like, do you let the sky dry before you do the clouds? Do you let this do that? No. You want it all to be wet, right? Let's check on Facebook, see if it's working correctly. Hey, sort of. Not really. Stupid thing. All right, let's turn off the Wi-Fi. We'll see if that works any better. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's going to be fantastic. We have this giant, enormous canvas, and we're just going to have a whole lot of fun. So, tap the screen, share the live, do whatever you got to do in order to get this out to more people, because this is my 900th painting of all time. It's going to be crazy. So, let's get up here and get after it, right? There we go. Oh, yeah. A little bit of blue sky. It's always funny, like people expect me to do all these crazy skies all the time. It's been a while since we've done a blue sky. So let's add just a little bit of blue. Maybe we'll take some of our Bob Ross black, get that down over on this side, just a touch. Kind of mix it on to finish the edges over here. Right, you guys are gonna tell me where you're watching from and what's your favorite sandwich on a Monday night madness. I can't believe how big this canvas is. So I'm gonna try not to let it take all stinking night. And just in case, let's start the clock. Start the clock over there. So, we're going to be using this, and we're going to be using our Mead and oil paints as well. Right? So we've got the Mead and oil paints on the clean palette, and then our Bob Ross oil paints on the big old thick dirty palette. There we go. Now we got a place to put everything. Perfect. Okay. Sorry guys, let's see. Is Facebook connected? Is everything working? Excellent. YouTube looks good. Make sure everybody who's watching gives me a thumbs up, or you tap the screen, or you do whatever. Giant big canvas on this one. So, we got our blue, we got our black. Why don't we let's save that guy. Let's get a little bit more of our blue. Coming in here, and who knows, we'll just dump it on, right? Just want a little bit of difference in our sky every which way, and you don't want to have too much paint on the canvas. So, what we're going to do is add a little here. Let's mix it down. We don't want to cover up too much of our rocks. And see how it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter the further we go down. It's because it's mixing in with all of that liquid white. If you don't prep your canvas with the liquid white, well, guess what? You're not going to have a very fun time because it's not going to blend around and move and be nice and easy for us. It's going to be a big pain in our butts. So, get that liquid white, get it onto our canvas, and that way you start with a wet surface. That nice and soft down there, a little bit darker over here. You know what? Let's actually let it get dark down there. It'll be like a deep, dark, grayish color by the time we get done. Now, I'm going to switch to the lamp black from our Mead set. You guys are going to tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? And it's going to be a good time. So, I'm going to go to our Mead paints. Now, the Mead paints are a little bit wetter, right? You can tell by the consistency of the pile. It's much slipperier than the Bob Ross paints are. In which case, it's going to travel a lot further when we touch it to our wet canvas, right? Because it's already wet. So, it's going to want to grow. Make everything nice and dark. That's going to mix in with all of our other white and our blues and everything. And by the time we get done mixing it, you're going to have this gorgeous little thing. So let's pull it in from the corners. Way up top, got to finish the big old side of our canvas. So this canvas is available for sale, guys. It's the biggest one that we've ever shipped from a live show. So if you want to get it, go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com and grab it for yourself. That was a little bit of our Bob Ross black. You can tell it's a bit thicker, it doesn't go as far, right? And then what we're going to do is come up here and blend this whole thing out with our 3 Ps of Paint with Josh. And what are the 3 Ps of Paint with Josh? Do you guys know? Do you know in the comments what the 3 Ps of Paint with Josh are? because we're gonna talk about them a lot. I'm gonna leave this big giant white section, and look, it's got a bunch of white paint on it already, right? It's not dry, it's a big old wet thing. So what are the 3 P's of Paint with Josh? Anybody know in the comments? You gotta let them know. Let all these new people know. I'm gonna be doing a lot of like aerobics back and forth in front of you guys tonight because it's such a big canvas. There we go. Let's see. I'm gonna move across the whole studio and dance and stuff. It's gonna be fantastic. Got all this room for activities. It's gonna be awesome. Now we're gonna dry off our brush because you don't want a wet brush from the odorless mineral spirits, right? You don't want that wetness in your brush when you go up to touch our wet paint. So let's see, is everybody still looking good? Perfect, perfect. Remember guys, this is painting number 900 on my career. I can't believe I've painted 900 paintings. And again, we're just gonna start in this light area right in here. So if you missed the TikTok show last night, firstly, if you're not following me on TikTok, get over there and follow me. What are you waiting for, man? Seriously, what are you waiting for? You're missing out on so many cool paintings that you then have to go pay for in order to watch over on YouTube. So if you want to watch them for free, just follow me on TikTok. Super easy, right? If they haven't got all my info by now, they don't want none of your info either. They really don't. People worry about that stuff too much. Stop watching the news and just live, right? Just have fun. That's what I like to do. That's my advice. Stop watching the news and just live. So all we're doing, pushing our paint, sliding it back and forth all across, and our little white circle is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, right? Because we're blending all of those paints around. With that liquid white on the canvas, the paints will slide and move all over the place. So you have to be sure that you don't have too much paint on the canvas. That's the number one. Did you guys tell him in the comments? Did you guys tell him about the 3 P's of Paint with Josh? I don't know if you did or not. I'm unsure whether or not you did, right? The first P of Paint with Josh is the amount of paint that we put on the canvas. The second P of Paint with Josh is the amount of pressure, right? How much of this color do you want to stretch across your canvas, right? It'll grow for a long time. You've already seen it. So pressure is our second P. And what is the very last P? I'm sure even if you're a brand new follower, you could probably figure this P out, right? If I told you, you know, would you ever go climb a mountain without maybe taking a couple lessons and doing this last P? Or do you ever expect to just hit a home run on your very first time without ever sing, right? What's that word? What's that word we talk about? Our third P of Paint with Josh, because if you don't have enough of it, man, how can you expect to be good at anything without that third little P? Does anybody know it? Let's see, anybody? Practice, April knows it. April Meunier, I bet you that's how you pronounce that, Meunier. So, practice is the third P, right? Paint, pressure, practice. Gotta practice. If you don't practice, how can you expect to be good? You know how many times I practice? Every single day. Every day, except for Wednesday. That's when I practice my editing skills, along with every other day I'm editing. I'm painting every day, I'm editing every day, I'm posting every day, I'm marketing every day. And guess who's helping? Do it all myself, right? You don't need help. You don't gotta hire somebody. I've got over 1.2 million followers and I haven't hired somebody yet. You don't need to hire somebody. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, I just released, guys, by the way, somebody had asked me about putting out a video of what my setup is in the room, how I film the videos and stuff. So I put it out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on TikTok, on all 4. So wherever you are, you should be able to go and check out my new little short video. It's like 58 seconds long. It's under 1 minute. All right, look at that. The more we go across, the more it's gonna start to darken our little bit. And then we get to decide when we're gonna leave it. We don't wanna leave it pure white because we're gonna use pure white for our clouds, right? We just want it to look a little bit lighter in color than the rest of the sky around it. Just like so, back and forth. This thing is so monstrous, so gigantic. Look at this sucker. Now down in here, I want it to be a little stormier, a little darker down in there, just so you get those wicked little bits of that deep dark shadowing back into mist and all that stuff. So a little stormier on the bottom side of this little cloud. And it's not even as dark as I want it to be, in fact. Why don't we take a little bit more of the Bob Ross the Bob Ross Midnight Black, not the liquid black. We don't use liquid black. There's only one time ever that I used liquid black in a tutorial, and I put it on and scrubbed it off with a paper towel. That's how I used it. That's how I used it. I did not use it according to how it's supposed to be used. But I have used it for like big tree limbs and different things in our foreground and stuff. So not a terrible paint. It's just super wet, super wet. So there's almost different colors in our sky. The gray, the black, the blue, and the white everywhere. All over the place. So you guys are going to tell me where you're watching from on this 900th painting spectacular, right? It's a painting spectacular today. So where are you watching from? And what is your favorite sandwich? I don't want to know. Bailey wants to know. It's not me, it's her. She's the one that wants to know. There we go. Now, I've saved in this moment, right? Because this is what always happens. Anytime you do your sky, you're always going to drag a little bit over. So I saved this part to show you guys on camera. All right, now what we're going to do, normally when you put on your Bob Ross liquid clear, you wipe it with a paper towel so it's not so reflective. Look at that reflection of the paper towel inside that wet paint. You can see it, right? It's like a mirror. Put my pretty face up next to it. Can you guys see me? No? You can't see me? So what we're going to do is go back over our dark area that we had painted with our gesso. And we're just going to wipe away that paint, right? A little bit of light. And it's just going to help us a little bit more. Where did we go with our rocks? I can't even remember. Up into here, up into there, just wiping it away. And that way we have less of that blue paint, less of the white paint, and less of the clear paint on the canvas, right? So I'm going to wipe this whole big sucker. Might fall out of my freaking whole easel. This thing's so big. I told you. Told you it was going to fall. What'd I say? I can just tell the future, right? If you guys can see down here on the bottom, I have a brand new Paint with Josh hat that we're going to give away. It's going to be a giveaway tonight for the 900th painting. We're giving away a Paint with Josh hat in any color of your choosing. They have black and yellow. They have just black on purple, black and red, black and teal, and pure white or pure red, right? Oh, it's going to be sweet. So, if you want a brand new Paint with Josh hat, then I might move out the way now so we don't get any paint on it. Brand new Paint with Josh hats. Look at these guys. New design, new logo, never been worn, right? Is it on YouTube? Look at that pretty little thing, right? If you guys want this hat or any version of the hat, right? I need you to take a screenshot. Hang on, let me make sure my hair's really messed up. If you can take a screenshot right now, right? And be like, I don't know where we put them, but take a screenshot right now and can send it to me on Facebook, okay? So if you don't follow me on Facebook, you're gonna have to go follow me on Facebook, take a screenshot of whatever you're looking at, and send it to me on Facebook. Everybody at the end of the show who has sent me a photo through Facebook, I don't know, we'll have to get rid of the YouTube stream, or I don't know, we'll have to do something. I'll have to figure it out by the time we get there. We'll be making it up as we go. But send me a photo through Facebook Messenger of your screenshot, like this, and you'll be entered to win a free hat. And we'll do like a live pick out of a hat, which is going to be cool, if you ask me. And if not, then let's get back to painting, right? Let's get back to painting. So we're going to come over here, and where's our palette? Here it is. Haha. So let's grab up a big old fan brush, guys. Big old fan brush. Biggest one you got. I mean, it's not as big as the one that I've ever seen, but big old fan brush anyway. We're going to take our paint right into our white, a little bit of our black, make it a little bit grayish, right? We're going to come out here and just pop it out into that bit where our white and those other colors meet. Way out there, right? Just saving that last little piece of this white color way out there. And then we're going to come in with our 2-inch brush or our 1-inch brush or whatever brush you want. Whatever is a soft, kind of firm and soft hog hair natural bristle brush. That's what I like to use, right? It's the Bob Ross landscape brush, not that white, weird looking blender brush. That's a weird one, right? I just like the landscape 2-inch brush, same as the 1-inch brush. And all we're doing is just using the top corner. You guys are going to tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich while I pick the hairs out of this painting? Nobody wants to buy it full of hairs. So remember, guys, this is number 900, and man, it's getting hot in here. Woo! There we go. What's my hair look like? It's all good. It's all good. So Number 900, if you go over to my Etsy store, which is paintwithjosh.etsy.com, you can search. There's a little search bar once you get inside there, right? And then once you're in the store, search for number 900, just type in 900, or you can type in the word TikTok and it'll pull up a bunch of paintings, and one of the paintings won't have a photo, obviously because we haven't got done painting it yet. So if this is the one that you want, choose that. It's number 900. That looks really cool, the way he's like streaking down like that. We did that on accident. We're gonna take a little bit more of our white, come in from the outside into the white, up into this guy, and then back down, leaving space in between. Watch. Come in like that. Rotate the brush. Come on, pop in. Come back down. So there's a little bit of difference in between this white and that white. See what I mean? You start to grow down in layers. It gets darker and darker, even though it's still very bright. It's darker than its original white anyway. And we're gonna take the same 2-inch brush. On the 900th painting spectacular. Did you guys see my shirt, by the way? It makes no sense. Look at this. 0 cents, right? Can you guys read it? It says, your girlfriend watches my dad on TikTok. I don't know why you guys are watching my dad on TikTok. No, I stole this shirt from Bailey. I got the shirt for my kid. She didn't even want it. She didn't even want to wear it. So I was like, fine, give it to me. I'm wearing it. People can go watch my dad on TikTok, right? Like, oh, you watch Grandpa Todd on TikTok? Excellent. Excellent. What does he do over there? I'm sure he's got a wicked cool channel. So, got all sorts of shirts, all sorts of merch and hats and different things, and we're going to do a giveaway, guys. So remember, later on, if you missed your chance to get your screenshot, later on in the show, I'm going to ask for screenshots holding the 2 hats. And only screenshots of me holding both the hats like this will be accepted as your entry, right? So if you want to screenshot that, all these weird faces, right? Take your screenshot, send it in if you want that free hat, right? As long as, no, you know what? Let's just do it anyway. I was going to say, as long as the painting sells during the show, then we would give away the hat. But for the 900th special, let's just give away the hat. Let's do it. If it sells, it sells. If not, well, then we're giving away a hat. It's fine. It's fine, though. So, let's see. All we're doing is blending it out until we like how it looks, right? That's all you have to do. You're the only one that's going to see it. You're the only one that's going to care whether or not your cloud is too bright right here, or whether or not it's just perfect, right? Do you want to mush on it a little bit more? You want to change up the shape? Watch this. Watch what we do right here. Let's take a little bit of color just from right there. 2 swipes on each side of the brush. Come in here. Start to tap. Oh, look at that little flat bottom. I mean, no one likes a flat bottom, but except the cloud when it's getting ready to rain. Besides that, we like nice, soft, fluffy bottoms. So just like that over here, you can use the color from the canvas itself as little shadowy areas and little different things, and just pop them in and see what happens, right? It doesn't have to be the most perfect thing. There is no shape. Somebody said on my, somebody commented on my Instagram the other day, on one of my reels making clouds. They commented on the Instagram and said, that's not how you make clouds. Come over to my page. I'll show you how you make clouds. I go over to their page. They had like 1,000 followers. I was like, oh, okay. I guess my 320,000 followers don't know that you make clouds better, right? But what I told them was, there is no specific shape for a cloud. Whether you paint a cloud that looks like this, whether it's going up, whether it's got long streaks or a big fan or a dark thing underneath it or not, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, right? It does not matter what shape it is at all. You can't tell me that there's not ever going to be, or you haven't ever seen a cloud or a set of clouds out there in the sky that looks like that, right? You can't tell me, because you have. It's been out there somewhere. On this planet, in this dimension, on the aliens planet, wherever. There's been some clouds out there like that. Because they're always going to be random. And that's the best part, I think, about mixing them the way that we do. Right? When you mix them in random circles like that, you're going to get random strokes, random swipes, random bits of brightness, random bits of darkness, which is going to look more realistic to me, anyway. So, we're going to come in a bit more white, because this area got a little bit blue, right? We didn't leave. See that white section underneath? These clouds started to turn blue very quickly because there's a lot of blue paint underneath there, right? So what do? We add a bit more white, some more paint. Now what do? Do we do less pressure or do we do more pressure? We want them to stand out and be very bright. just like these guys. A little bit brighter than those guys, right? So do we use less pressure? Do we use more pressure? Do we use the same amount of pressure? You guys tell me in the comments. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Josh is a legend. Thank you. I appreciate that. Les says C Family 120, I think. Gidry says less. Let's see. Lots of people. Airy Fairy Face says less. Jess says less. Less pressure. Some big man says more pressure. Right? Well, think about this, big man. If we were going to push harder on it, don't you think that the white would blend in with the blue a little bit more and go a lot more faded? So if we stay very light-handed, and just barely kind of just mush the paint up a little bit, just fluff it up, right? Like a cloud. Oh man, I just fluffed it up, right? Just like that. Bingo, bango. Very light pressure, because the more we push, the more it's going to blend in with all of that blue that's underneath. So all about the amount of paint, the amount of pressure, and practice, right? This is not my first cloud, trust me. I've done thousands and thousands of clouds. If I've done 900 paintings and each one of these is a cloud, I've done 5,000 clouds, okay? So not any one of them is exactly the same. They don't have to be, right? You can have yours look however you want. I can have mine look however I want. That crappy person on Instagram who is talking crap, they can have theirs look however they want. Cloud Zaddies can look however he wants. He can paint some wicked clouds, let me tell you. And it was funny, I was watching his show the other day. It's so funny, I always talk about Cloud Zaddy. He's like the only one that pops up on my feed when I'm looking, like as I'm scrolling TikTok right about to start the show. He's the only one that pops up on my feed most times. So I was watching him paint, and then he told me that he takes his inspiration from my clouds, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's such a cool feeling. Here we go. A little bit of, right? Don't need anything to be the same or anything like that. It does not have to be the same color, the same shape, the same dark. It doesn't even have to look like mine. If you're following the tutorial, right? It does not even have to be the same at all. And you know what all this black is? It's black acrylic gesso. If you're just tuning in right now and you didn't know what that stuff was, it's acrylic black gesso. You have to put this stuff on first, right? A lot of people go, isn't it easier to do the sky before you do the foreground? I'm like, well, this isn't the foreground. It's the background of the foreground. Like, it's hard to explain. Just leave me alone, okay? But in either case, it's harder to get. The reason we put this stuff on is because you can't add enough black paint to make it this dark once you're on top of that white. It will constantly mix until forever, and it'll constantly get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. It just won't happen. And then you'll have to use so much paint that you won't be able to add anything else on top of it, right? So use your black gesso. It's awesome. Now let's come in and let's just I don't even know what I was gonna say. It wasn't gonna make sense, whatever it was. So let's just make up the most gigantic mountain you've ever seen. Now, what are our 3 favorite colors to make a shadow with, guys? And in this case, we're using 4 because 2 of the colors are the same color. They're just different shades of the color. So what are the 3 favorite colors that Paint with Josh likes to use in order to make a shadow of a mountain? Anybody? Anybody? Crimson, blue, and black. What's that? MEMS 20, MEMS 4, what is it? MEMS 4, I can't pin it. There we go. Pin the comment. Sorry, guys. Crimson, blue, and black. Or black, crimson, and blue. Or blue, black, and crimson. Or whatever however you want to say it. We'll make all that darkness, right? It's a very deep, dark, purpley color, depending on the amount of blue, the amount of crimson, the amount of black, depends on the amount of darkness in your thing. It could be a very dark bluish color. It could be more of a purplish color. All depends on your mix, right? So let's scrape up a lot of paint. And let's decide, maybe way off here. Just start putting it down, because if you take too long to decide, then you're not going to do it. You're like, oh no, I don't want to do that, right? No. Let me come over here and just be crazy with it. Little jagged, little nuts, little mountain over here. Crazy nuts. Make sure it's nice and dark. You have to push all those clouds backwards. Maybe this guy came up over here, came down. Right? Just shaking the knife, maybe slide him off to the edge. Who knows? He's way off in the distance. Way off, even though, let's go a little bit higher. Boom! Let's make him much bigger, actually. Oh yeah, right, do a whole nother one on top of him, just to make him a bit taller and a bit more crazy. Look at this guy. Right, this just proves that you can't ever match it perfectly. Even I can't. I mean, I'm not trying. I wasn't trying to match it perfectly, but just shaking the knife, you'll get these cool little bits, and then you'll be like, ooh, that looks neat. Let's make that a little spike right there. Why not, right? Mush the paint, scrape it down, pull it off to the side. Very neat little trick coming up right here, guys. Watch it. Slide that guy off to the edge just by turning the knife. Smush that paint. Get it on there, right? Making this ginormous old mountain. Just a humongous old guy. Now, again, if you're an OG, like old Paint with Josh, or Bob Ross, or anybody else, you can take your 2-inch brush or your 1-inch brush, and all dependent on our pressure, guys, right? We put the paint up there. That's P1. P2 is the amount of pressure. Do you want it to grow all the way off the edge, or do you want it to just stay right where it is? You want to be right down in there? Right? You want to go a little bit further? Push a little bit harder. All up to you guys. All right, what do you want your little mountain to look like? Remember, don't ever pull them all in the same direction. There we go. All these little different strokes over here are going to help your mountain look like it's more 3D anyway, right? Don't even have to brush everything out. Maybe that guy's just sort of straight down in the back. You never know. This guy could come in front, cut him off like that, right? This guy could come in front of this guy, cut down in front of him. All depends on how you want yours. It's not a specific shape, right? And it's not all the same shape. Please don't make it all the same direction, right? Pull in different directions, please. I beg you. I beg of you, pull in this direction over here. Right? Look at that. Just from sliding this way, we've made this long ridge come down. Just all on its own, right? We didn't do anything. Didn't do anything special. Just pulled the brush in a different way. Take it, slide it back down where you want it to go down that way, right? What is this? Oh, that's my watch telling me that I've done enough exercise. Thank you, watch. I appreciate you. Hey, now let's come back over here. Let's put a little bit more darkness off the back of this guy. Just a bit more. There we go. And I'll show you the reason why in a little bit, right? There we go. Cool. Love that guy. That's a big old mountain. Now, what are we going to do with our shadows, right? No matter if we do green grass or snow or whatever we put down here, you can always put snow on your mountain. That's the best part about a mountain. So let's get a bit of blue and a bit of white. We're going to mix those guys up just like this on the side over here. You don't even have to like, you can just literally mix it, right? Smush it. Lots of paint. Bang, right there. Now we're going to take a bit of our original dark mix of our mountain that we made up, our crimson, blue, and black, and we're going to throw that in there just to dull it down just a touch. And this guy is really white. We had not enough blue, so let's go back in, add our little bit of blue in there, just a little bit more, a little bit of our black, just to dull it down. There we go. We got that dark bluish, kind of grayish color. Now we're going to come up here, very light little pressure, right? All depends the amount of paint that we put on the knife. The amount of pressure that we pull. Look at that. You start hearing it scrape on the canvas, you know you're starting to run out of paint on the edge of your blade. Right? All the way down there. Get this skinnier and skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. Whatever you want yours to look like, totally fine. Maybe we come off the back of this guy, this downward rounded angle, and we turn our knife and we start pulling down this way, and all of a sudden we're going to have this like glacial mass of ice and rock sitting right in there, right? All depends on what you want it to look like. The more you do, the cooler it starts to look until that one fateful time when you went and done and messed it all up, right? You put on too much. So, over there, maybe we got a little streak back in behind that little peak over there, little touch, who knows, maybe something in there, who knows. Any bit of anything, anywhere, right, is gonna help us out. So, just like that, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a wicked cool little mountain. Now, we're gonna take our white paint, we're gonna get double the amount of white that we just grabbed to make the shadows. We're going to get a little bit of our mixture, not of the blue, just of the mix, the already predetermined, pre-diluted down mix. And that's going to keep this paint very, very, very white. Right? It's like a very, very, very bright sky blue. Super bright. So, don't want it to be pure white because we can use our pure whites as we get closer. You want it to be this off-white color. So let's come in here, we'll scrape that up. And just watch, with the amount of paint on the knife, you start to come in, you start to drop, you start to follow along your edges. Very lightly floating down as it's picking up in different places of that dark, shadowy mix. Right? That dark mixture is going to pick it up as you slide across it in different ways, right? And as it goes off in different ways, it starts to look really, really neat. Come down that way, who knows, pick it up over here. Slide it down through, leave a little bit of that blue color back there. It looks like a little shadow way off in the distance, right? Come up here with this guy. Maybe, who knows, there's like a, there we go. Big old chunk of white right on the top of that little bit of blue that we had right there. So that little shadow underneath is gonna look so wicked. So wicked cool, check this out. All right, helps that little bit of snow sit up. The faster you go with this knife, the easier it's gonna break for you. Now, the mountain's kind of looking a little funny. What do you always say to us, Josh? Don't always pull it in the same direction, right? So check this out. I think we got enough paint to do, maybe, no, we don't have enough. Let's go back and make up some more. So a bit more white, a bit more blue, just the teeniest bit of blue though. And then we'll make up our very, very, very bright blue. It's very bright blue. It looks pure white, but it's not, trust me. Trust me. Now we're gonna scrape that guy up. Let's come over here and start throwing off little bits of differences, right? And we're not gonna go down the same direction. We're gonna start pulling them off sideways so it'll look like this rounded thing like that, right? Let's come over here and we're gonna start pulling more in our sideways direction. As we start working it down, what if we came off of this guy, started to come over here, and then just slid our whole little ridge right in there, right? If you don't make the noises, it doesn't work. You gotta throw your ridge in there like that. Take a bit of our blue paint off the backside. Here we go. Everybody likes it off the backside back there, just like that. Got our whole another little bit of shadow, a little ridge, a little something here and there. That's all you need. Literally all you need. Take this guy, really whip him down like that. Ooh, guys, now don't cover all of these spots, right? That bit of darkness underneath there, if you were to just slide another piece of light back here and maybe connect these guys, all of a sudden you got a little shadowy ridge. It's lifted, it's raised up back there. Right? Taking our knife, long strokes, and be fast. You gotta go fast with it. If you don't go fast, it's not gonna work as well, and you're not gonna get the pressure right if you're going slow. Right? If you're going slow, you're gonna like be mushing it on, and it's gonna end up looking like when we do our cabins and you have that wood grain color. That's what it's gonna look like. So don't go slow. You gotta whip it down, different angles, throw it out there. Have fun with it, right? Very lightly with the knife. Very light pressure, just barely even holding on to it. Bang, slide that sucker off like that. We're gonna have this huge, ginormous drop right here. Right, wants to just fall off the edge. And then what if you came in like this, connected this guy, back in there, guys, look at that. Just with a couple little swipes, and all of a sudden we got a really cool looking mountain back in here, right? Very neat, very neat. Take this guy, slide him down that way. A couple little bits over on the edge. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to go all the way, doesn't have to do anything. Man, we're using a lot of snow. Forget how big this canvas is. That's a lot of snow on our far away mountain. It's supposed to be a far away mountain, guys. It's just so humongous. Take this guy over here, adding a little bit of white. And every time you lose paint, go back, grab some more. Try not to cover up all the little blue sections, but when there's a blue section, there must be a bright white section right over the top of it to help cast that shadow. You gotta be casting the shadows. Now we're gonna take some of our original mountain mixture, that blackish color, that really deep dark purpley mix, and we're gonna come back and just start dropping on little things and sort of sliding them down, right? Not every piece of our mountain is gonna be able to be seen. Some of these rocks, some of them are rocks, some of them are caverns or caves, right? You get all sorts of stuff happening. Back here off the shadowy side of the mountain, you can always take a bit more of our blue if you ever get one that's too dark. Throw it right back over the top. Right back over the top, just like that, guys. All right, but now if we did that, now we gotta take our lighter color and make it this not a perfect straight line. Here we go. That's a cool looking mountain, you guys. Don't tell me it ain't. You can't tell me it ain't. There we go. A little bit of our white, let it mix down. Very cool, very cool. And then all this stuff out here on the edge is all going to be used for our little misty actions. So we can take our pure white down here. It doesn't really matter because we're not using it as highlights or shadows or anything. Right? Just like that. You want to have it a little bit misty down at the bottom. That's how we're going to project distance on this guy with all this misty white paint. So on my big 36 by 36 inch canvas, you got to be about a hang loose sign away from your rocks over here. That's about how much space we want to leave. At least for me anyway. So remember guys, you can purchase this painting if you go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com, or if you go to paintwithjosh.com the Etsy link is the very first thing you'll see. So, plus you'll find all my YouTube page, my Facebook, my Instagram, the TikTok page, all that stuff over there on my website, paintwithjosh.com. Let's put this big old guy down for a second. Let's clean off this old brush over here. My goodness, you guys. So what are we looking at on time? That's not bad. That's a good 10-minute mountain. That's going to be a good video. Especially for how big it is. Little 10-minute mountain section, that ain't bad, guys. Okay, we're going to take our dry 2-inch brush. We cleaned it. We dabbed it off on a paper towel. Now we're going to very lightly start coming up, right? From the bottom towards the top. You start thinning it down and sort of making it a little bit harder to see, a little bit more blurry. Each time you go over it, it blurs those details the tiniest little bit, right? See how we're going all up in the same direction of how we were going down with our knife until we get to a point, or maybe on this guy, maybe start going from the other side. Very softly though, guys. So soft, and if you touch too hard, you might wipe away your white paint. You might have to go back and add it, all right? Like literally 3 hairs and some air, just to sort of take away the harsh details. You don't want all your thick texture. Got a big old chunk of skin in that guy. That must have shot off onto my curtain or my table somewhere. But you don't want all your thick texture way back here on the mountain. But I also say for the beginners, you don't have to go all the way up to the top. That's where it's going to be the thickest, especially for you guys. So before we finish anything else, let's come back in a little bit more. There we go. That guy blend down, pull this guy back. See how you can slide those paints over each other? You go back and forth, it creates a little shadow back in there. Very cool. Now we're going to take that same 2-inch brush. We're going to start to make the mist. This is when everyone messages me and they go, how do you make the mist? Like, would you have a video on painting the mist? And I go, that video is in every video that we do a mountain. I show you how to mist it up, right? Gotta mist up the old misty mountains. By the way, start coming up with a name for this painting because, take some of that other misty stuff down here. You guys get to name the painting when it's through. Whoever has the best name, or if it gets purchased, the buyer should choose the best name, and then you guys are going to be able to name the painting. So, start coming up with a name. What would you name it? We're going to take that 2-inch brush, and now we're going to go for the mist. And all we're doing is just tapping it, right? We're coming up with the corner of the brush, just a little bit. Little corner of the brush. What's up, Bailey? And all we're doing is tapping, dragging it down, right? And this is when you can you want to go down in that same angle that you are creating your mountain in, because you can start to lay out hard to see bits of unsnow covered mountain back there, right? Very lightly as you go down. So don't want it to be a straight line, right? I have mine way up here. If I did it a straight line across, we would lose all this stuff. We're going to come down. Every so often we come up into our white, we start to tap down at it, right? You get these very soft little things. Start going straighter and straighter. The more to the left you come, the straighter. Now watch this. I'm going to do it at the same line, just like I was saying. And you'll see how funny it looks. Right? If you have that, it's just a straight line of misty fog. Like it just doesn't look right. So every so often, pop up, come back down, pop up, come back down. It's almost like treat it like a little heart monitor. That's what I like to do. So it's up and down and up and down. You get all these little things, right? And then we're going to go back and make it brighter anyway. Now, we're going like this, using just the top corner of the brush, right? Just tapping at it with just the top corner. Pop. Just using these mini bristles, maybe like 100. I don't know. I don't know how many come in the brush. Just the top couple like that, right? Boop. Boop. So all we're doing. Now, we were going this way, right, with our mountain because everything was going that way. Now we're going to turn the brush, we're going to tap it over here, and we're going to go this way, right? And every so often, we're going to come up a little bit higher into that darkness and start tapping it down. Just like a typewriter. Up here, bing, start again. Bing, right? And you take that color and you start to work its way down your mountain, making it blend more. Now you almost can't tell, especially if we did this. You can't tell me where the edge of the mountain is and where the clouds start, right? Because it's so foggy and mysterious and misty back in there. A misty bit of details back over there, right? Very cool. Very cool, guys. Now, we can always come back in if yours isn't bright enough. Take a bit of the white onto the tip of our brush. You don't even need a whole lot. Like, look, that's going to be a lot of white paint because, as we all know, it's going to move. It's going to grow, and we don't want it to grow too far. We don't want it to blend away too much either, right? So it all depends on yours, whether or not. It's like we're making another little cloud down in here. There we go. A couple little mixtures Little bits here, a little bit there. Doesn't have to stand out so crazily. I like having a little bit of difference in there, but nothing too bad. Nothing too nuts. All right, come in like that. A little cloud action, little tappy taps, all just a little difference in color. So we decide, do we want it light, do we want it soft? Just like that, you got this floating little mountain way out there in the distance. Very cool little thing. Now, with the same 3 colors that we were just using, so if you weren't paying attention or you just tuned in, now's your chance to know those 3 favorite colors of Paint with Josh. We know the 3 P's, the amount of paint, the amount of pressure, the amount of practice, right? So what are the 3 favorite colors of Paint with Josh? If you know it, type it in the comments now and get your comment pinned so just millions of people will go follow you. I wish it was that easy. I really wish it was. Because everybody have millions of followers. It's fine. It's fine though. Let's see. Oh, I think that's the same comment. Yeah, let's refresh comments. There we go. Blue, black, and crimson. That's Jessica right there. Get your comment pinned. You guys are great. You guys are great. All right, let's see. Dude, what if we set it up for like a bridge right here? Like water running through with like a little bridge. I didn't think of it until right now, but very cool. So with our blue, black, and crimson paint, man, it's hot in here. We're gonna take our fan brush, same brush that we used to make the clouds with, right? Doesn't have to be any different. And all we're doing is loading it up, swiggling it, jiggling it back and forth so it's nice and sharp. And then we get to decide. I know I want to have a couple trees in our foreground so we don't have to worry about this area over here. Maybe just the littlest bit. Maybe if we come back in here like this. A couple little taps. Remember, it's a lot of paint on the brush. We're using a big canvas. Big old canvas. So if you want it to be, you know, you got to keep them nice and sharp and dark. You got to come back and get more paint and more paint and more paint. You're constantly mixing with the white. So don't go too nuts. All right, we're going to do it across the whole thing. It's going to be very cool. And then you make this little bit of mist, same thing at the bottom. So we're not going to bring them all the way down to the dark. You want to have them kind of floating out there. A couple little floaters way out in the distance out here. All right, then we'll just fill them in. The more we get over here, the darker we're going to fill them in. So the more we're going to push, right? I want to have less paint behind where my little trees are going to sit right here. All right, but in the midst back here, we want to have a bit more paint. So it's all about the amount of paint on the canvas. Whether or not your trees are going to stick, or it's going to be difficult to do, or whatever, right? It's all about the amount of paint. If you don't have enough paint, or you have too much, it's going to be hard to do, guys. So, trust me, do as I say, not as I do. Here we go. We can come up a little bit higher up here. Who knows? Then we're just going to fill in the rest, right? Just fill it in until it's about, I don't know, maybe 2 inches, 3 inches from the bottom is all we really need. All we really need is a little bit of that darker color in there, right? Just in there. And all it's going to do is help blend, because we're going to smash it at the bottom of these and turn it into all that little misty fog back there. So, remember, it's never all just the same thing. Why don't we get a big old granddaddy of the forest that lived way back there in the trees? And all we're doing is just coming in, tapping at him with the corner. This canvas is so big, it shakes all over the place. Now fill him up back here, right? Just like that, making him just about as tall, a little bit taller than the rest of the trees are back there. And that's all you gotta do. And then we're gonna tap him in to the base. Just fill it in so you can't tell where it is. But we got that one big old monster tree out there in the forest, right? Just like that. Very cool. Very cool. That's a lot of trees out there, guys. That's 1,000 trees. Remember how I always make my little videos? I'm like, paint 1,000 trees in a minute? And everyone's like, that's like 350 tops. That's 1,000. Count them up. Somebody pause it. Somebody pause Josh and count up those trees. I want to count. I want an accurate count of those trees. And remember, there's not just the tops. There are all sorts of depth in there too. Come on, give me some cred. Give me some cred. Okay, let's take this guy. It's been 41 minutes, and we are not even close to being done. Ugh. Okay, we're gonna come in. We're gonna take this guy and start to flatten him. All right, the more we do that, the more paint we're picking up from the top and then depositing down here at the bottom. See how that's going? Just like that. So you get this little straight line sort of down at the bottom. You're being very light and not trying to drag them all the way up. They don't need to go all the way up, especially this big old granddaddy of the forest. We don't need him to be all the way up. And then we're going to go in and, I remember, we're going to go in and make them all misty and hard to see. So, just like that. The more you push on them, the higher they're going to be. I really like the top of this guy. Very cool. Now, We're gonna take the same brush and come in and start our little taps again. Now we're just taking the color and bringing it down, straight down, right? So funny, everyone's like, stop copying Bob's noises. You know, dude, Bob is copying the noise of the brush on the canvas. Just that's what I do. That's what I do. But nah, I get hate on for it. It's fine. It's fine. Remember, guys, if you're ever watching television and there's someone else on trying to paint like me and it's not me, don't watch the show. Don't watch the show. It's all right. It won't get picked up for a second season. It'll be fine. Until they pick up Paint with Josh. And then we all watch all the time, right? Constantly watching. Constantly watching. So, just with the corner of the brush, you guys, around the whole thing. Bang. Look at how we just brought all those trees. Now you can't tell me where the bottom is because you don't know. I don't know. And if I don't know, how do you know? You don't know. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Right? All we're doing is just mixing it up very lightly. You get that just a million trees out there in the forest. Very cool, very simply, very easily done. With just two little brushes and some paint, right? Nothing to it. Nothing to it. Man, that canvas is ginormous, guys. That is humongous. Does anybody know if this sold yet? I wouldn't imagine it would. Because it's a big canvas. It's going to cost me a lot to ship, which means it's going to come with a heavy price tag. So I wouldn't imagine it would. But if it does, can someone please tell me? So I can celebrate number 900 going. That'd be a really cool thing during the show. That'd be a really cool thing. Speaking of really cool things, while I wash these brushes real quick, let me just wash the brush. I'll show you how we do it real fast. It's only the smallest bit dirty, so we're just taking it just a 1/4 inch into the thinner, and then we pull it out and we kind of twist it inside, and that way it retains all of the spray in there, and then it doesn't drip when you get done spraying or spinning it, right? It doesn't go. And then you can go to your trash can, flick it, and then into the bucket. But yeah, something really cool. Melanie, right? Melanie's a big buyer of Paint with Josh paintings. And she must have, I don't know, 50, 60 Paint with Josh paintings. And she sent me photos of them all hung up in her house. 8 photos. Walls plastered like a gallery. It was the coolest looking thing I'd ever seen. So I told her that she should start charging tickets. We're like, everybody go over to where the state that she's in. And then she'll start charging tickets to come in and check out the Paint with Josh gallery that's over in her house. So we'll see, guys. Maybe we can convince her in the comments, just like that. A little bit more of our blue, black, and crimson. That same dark, shadowy mix. I gave it away. Normally I ask you guys what color it is, but I gave it away this time for freezies. So remember those colors for the next time that I ask for them, and then you're gonna get your comment pinned in the comments section. Now let's come in. Let's reshape our rock. What did our rock used to look like? Because it's got so much paint on it now that it really doesn't even matter. What if we came out like that? Started sliding them down. All jaggedy and crazy and however, right? All we're doing, bringing his little butt back into the foreground of our painting. Just by adding a little bit of dark, taking away that little kind of mistiness of the sky. Getting rid of all that stuff that we kind of blew away like that, right? Very cool, very cool. Why does that look like it looks like Goofy's kid or like a Who from Whoville or something. I don't like that. Let's make it a little different. There we go, just whatever. Doesn't have to be perfect. Up into our clouds. Oh, there we go. Now it doesn't even look like a face, that's good. Now we can have it drop off in different directions and all sorts of different things. But all we're doing is putting that dark color on and blending it back towards the original black of the black gesso, right? I don't want it to go so far that I end up covering all the black gesso with this dark paint. And then it'll be harder to keep our dark shadows, right? So it just depends on how you pull it. Any which way, you can start to create your little mountain or your little rock or whatever it is. Bailey, can you check the AC? I gotta check the AC. It is like I'm literally sweating. It's so hot up here. What is going on with this air? Oh, no wonder. No wonder, you guys. Man, it's hot up here. Woo! Don't come to Las Vegas. Don't come to Las Vegas. Sweat to death in your own house. And my thermostat set at 77. Set at 77. I'm still sweating. All right, let's go. Okay, now we got our dark mix. We've laid out our little mountain spot. And we know where that's gonna sit, so now we can kind of tell where there's some space to add some stuff, right? What if there was a little tree, just a little guy? Watch, if we keep him in the mist, make him a little fatter, a little darker, all this dark shadowy color is gonna stand out and make him look closer because it's all got that light kind of shadowy mix behind him, right? Just like that. Pop out a little tree. A little guy way over there. Maybe he's got a little bigger friend, who knows? Because if he's got a friend, he lives, I don't know. Remember, you don't want to put it so far away that by the time you get done, the tree limbs are poking at each other, right? That's not how they want to live. They like living nice and close. And we come down right next to them like that. And let's make it a little sharper on the top. A little sharper, there we go. Now maybe this guy's a little downward saggy, old saggy old tree like Bob likes to paint, right? So we're just going back and forth, rotating the brush. Facing little branchies go to stick out. Cool looking dude. He's a little friend too. This guy needs to be a bit bigger actually. Let's make that little guy just a bit taller. Boom. Right? You can change the size. You don't have to be stuck with whatever you think you have, right? Like, oh, I just ruined it. I guess it's over. I'll never paint again, blah, blah, blah. Just add some more paint. Make it a bit bigger, a bit thicker. And we got one little guy over here who's just like, he got stepped on when he was a little baby. Big old moose came and stepped on him. That's what Bob used to say. Big old moose came and stepped on him. All right? Just by pushing in with our pressure, you create all these cool little branches and stuff like that. And all this is the shadowy background of our painting, right? When we come and highlight him, we go up a little bit higher. Can't go too high up into here, otherwise our thick paint won't stick on because we're on top of all that other thick paint out there, right? There we go. A little extension. Dude just got a little bit bigger. Bang, right? Boom. Chunky old guy. But remember, got to keep it dark up here, so try not to go too high up into your snow, and that way you'll retain that darkness. And if you need it, that's why I like this lamp black from the Meaden set, because it stays very dark way back there, right? Very cool. Then we just go add some highlights on top, just like that. So let's come back to our dark colors, our crimson, black, and blue mix. Over here, man, I just gave it away again. I should have asked you guys. I should have asked you. Right, so say we have another thing coming out of there. What if we did like just a little, boom, like a little sticky tree, just coming out the ground right there. And the more you go down, the harder you push. Right, boom, depositing more paint, making it a little bit thicker. Very cool little tree, guys. Now let's come over to this guy over here, and I don't want to interrupt him. Maybe. Yeah, we'll put a couple. We need something. Maybe we have some bushes off the side. We'll have some water coming out over here. Another bush off the bottom over there. Do our rock down. So let's put some trees in here. Bam, maybe one there. And one there. See how close they are? They're about the same width apart as a fan brush, right? Nothing too crazy. A little H out there. Now let's come up. We're going to start tapping up. And this canvas is a bit big and floppy. So it takes a bit of getting used to as you're making your branches, and you're pushing in and then you're pulling away, right? We're turning the brush, pushing in, turning the brush, trying to get little things like that guy to stick out, right? Everything else on the inside is going to end up being filled in, so it doesn't matter, and then it all gets covered anyway. So, but just in slow motion, that's sort of what we're doing. Smashing against the canvas, making all these little bits of craziness stand out. Right? You want those thick, textury bits. Those thick bits, man. That's what you gotta have. And come up onto this guy, we just start tapping little things, and the more you go in, the more you tap out. And you push out a bit further and a bit further, and again, you want it to be very thick and very textured. And it'll pick up on your little highlight paint, all your little different stuff back there. Be very cool. Now let's come down. Maybe we got one guy right in here. Boom. All right. Little sticky tree back there. That's looking really cool. And then we get some more of that lamp black just to make it extra black back here. See that? The difference right there? The first one instantly wanted to blend away with all that white color back there. So you can't let it. Don't let it blend away. Now let's go back over here. Maybe we got another couple guys. We're gonna have our foreground, so we don't want to put too much of the background in there. Maybe we got one more little branchy little guy over here. A little evergreen, right? We're just tapping in. And then the more we go in, I'm trying to stay out of your guys' way. Maybe we'll just do the one side of the tree on its own. Right? The more we go in, the more you're smashing onto the canvas, pushing the branches out to the side. And then we come back, and maybe you guys can't see me do it on this side. But we're doing the same thing, opposite directions. Right? Dropping the paint out, making sure we got little branches that stick out. That's all you really want. And making sure it's very dark. Right? It's got to stay dark like that. Now, all this stuff underneath, all depends on where you bring your little mountain path, how you pull it down. Maybe it comes over here and then it came down, right? In our little dip. We had this guy, it was actually up there. And that dip down over here. Maybe there's one more little dip into there. Boom, and then we're gonna have our water come shooting right out of that little gap right there, right? So, all this stuff can be a grassy meadow, it can be rocks, it can be whatever you want it to be, right? Taking our little land, pulling it up out the way over there. Filling in the base, very dark at the bottom, so there's no light coming through the very bottom of them, right? I do the same thing with these guys over here. Very lightly pull them out in different directions, just sort of covering all that light color that we bled in from our sky, and poof, all of our foreground is now back into the foreground. And we've retained our very deep dark shadows without having to add on the paint. Look at the difference, right? This is the black paint versus the gesso black, right? This is not black, this is. That is. Now, tell me where you guys are watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Oh, dude, I had an idea. I just had an idea, guys. We literally throw these things together at will. So sometimes I kind of take a pause while I'm thinking of what I want it to look like, how I want it to grow towards us, what do we want to have in here. Right? If we kept doing this, even with that dark paint, say our mountain came down from over here, and just with those little swipes, I can tell. I can come back here next to you guys and go, okay, yep, I dig it. I can see it. We're moving out this way, so maybe we have some grass come down. We have some grass come down. Maybe there's a path. Maybe it's water. Maybe a river runs through, drops, comes over here, drops again. Who knows? Who knows? We're going to figure it out, though. We got to figure it out. Okay, let's come over here. We're going to grab up our little liner brush. You guys are going to tell me where you're watching from and what your favorite sandwiches are while I come back and add a few little brushes onto these little guys back. A few little branches, not brushes. Little branches. Little branchy branchers way out over here. Little things, all depends. You want to stay into those misty areas, though, right? We're not trying to go into the thick paint, up into the top. None of that. This guy tried to get a little thick on me. I'm going to make him a little thinner. Right, how far do you want it to grow? But you got to have that odorless mineral spirits on there in order to thin our branches down so they'll come off of the brush easily. Otherwise, they don't come off the brush. It just drags, and you don't have this cool little thing that flows off of the brush nice and easily, right? So, if you want it to come off easily, make sure you get yourself some odorless mineral spirits. You can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's or any any place, any hardware store, Home Depot, right? All the little places you can get it at. Let's come up here. And remember, if you don't have enough on your brush, it doesn't want to come off. So, very cool. A couple little soft little bits out there. Gotta get a little bit more of it. And then we'll cut the top of our tree way back here. Now we got to decide, do we want it to be a winter scene? Do we want it to be a summer scene? Do you want to have, grass? Do you want to have snow? Do you want to have brown rocks? Do you want to have white? What do you want? What you got? What you got in there? What's on your palette for today? Because I have every color possible on mine and available to do some cool stuff. So what do you guys want to see for number 9 hundo? Number 9 hundo. It's pretty big milestone if you ask me. 900 paintings in 4 years. I'm definitely going to get to, I'll probably hit 1250 in 4 years by the time we get to it. I only get 52 days off from painting a year because there's one Wednesday every week, right? Yeah, 52 days off a year from painting. That's it, man. That's a lot of painting. There we go. So, come over here. I'm going to get rid of all this paint. You guys tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? What do you guys want to see? You want to see some grass? You want to see the... You want to keep it wintry? I'm going to go with some green summery snow. What are we looking at, people? Spring! Do all the colors. Ugh. I'll be in Vegas on Friday. That's right. Tanisha Railsback. Everybody go follow Tanisha, guys. She's at like 350 followers. She needs to get 1,000 so she can go live. Rocks and mountain always get appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Love you guys over on YouTube. Make sure you guys are give me a thumbs up if you're watching over on YouTube. And it really helps. Whether or not you think it does or not, it really does. So why don't we come in here? The more thumbs up we have, it is directly correlated to the more views we will get on this live. So if you want to help me out, make sure you give me a thumbs up over there. I'm going to scrape up some of this brown and our yellow ochre. And it's very dry and very thick. It's going to make some very cool rocks. But it's only like that because it's been sitting on the palette for 3 or 4 days. So, boom. Got a little bit of orange, kind of little yellowy tinges in our bit of brown. And say we came up and just by touching it, we're going to start to roll the knife down, right? However you pull it is how it's going to look. So, what if you had it in another way? Pulled it down this way, right? Never all has to go the same direction. I like having them where they kind of go crisscrossing in between. You know, a little push out there, right? A little touch. Not trying to cover up all those dark areas. We had this guy out here. Maybe he slides back. Maybe it was down over to that side, right? Doesn't all have to be the same, remember. Nothing has to be the same. Look at all those colors in there, though. Very cool, right? Look at all that bit. The more paint that you have on there, the brighter it's going to be. So scrape it off if it's too bright. And look, you don't even have to do anything. We just literally scraped it off. So let's go back and use that paint at a different angle over on that side. Look at that. Look at that, you guys. Cool, guys. Look at that. What if we came down here like this with that full bit of paint? All right, sliding it down to the edge. Very neat. All right, and then this side, we're going to put a little bit on the edge out there, pulling it from a different direction. All of a sudden, it looks like almost like a snake or something twisting up the side of the mountain, you guys. All right, let's not connect all of our colors in either. You don't need every little thing to touch, remember? So let's put a little bit there, maybe a little bit on the outside of this guy. Not every single thing has to come in and touch. Maybe we'll make a little heart shape right in there. Oh, it's a little cute little heart back in there, guys. That's so cute. Now, let's come over here. Maybe slide it down. Different ways, right? Not pushing on it, not pulling on it, not doing the same thing, not one direction, right? We're not pulling everything. These guys, we're going to go start going that way. So let's come over here. Maybe we start pulling a little bit flatter. You can literally pull it to the side. What do you want to do? It's up to you, guys. Literally, what do you want yours to look like? Scrape that sucker up and pull it, right? Change directions. Oh my God, I can't believe it's been an hour and we're still here just at this point, and it's been an hour already. Look at that. Leave that dark section in there. Don't even paint it. So cool looking. So cool looking. Right, maybe we take this guy and I say we're going to pull down another direction, leaving that darkness in there. And then what happens if you connect them, bang, around the edge, right? Whatever you want to do as we pull it in, not trying to have them touch all the way, but whatever you guys want is possible, right? However you want it to look, whatever you want it to be, you can do anything you want to do right out here on this campus, I'm telling you. And the best part is, it doesn't have to look like mine, not one single bit. I always say that. You don't want it to look like mine. Never have it look perfectly the same. Man, that's cool. I'm gonna go climb up this rock and see how high I can get up. Just wanna go check it out. We got a little bit of rocky edge off of this guy over here. And we're gonna come down into our water. So let's not have too much craziness over there yet, right? Just like that, guys. That's gonna be really cool. Starting to look pretty neat. Right, a little bit more of our color. Back into here. Slide it down. Very cool. Doesn't all have to look the same, right? Very neat. Very neat. All right, let's come up in here. Maybe we had a few more little crazy little rock formations up in here. All right, little formation. If you don't know what that is, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Little formation. Just a the shortened version of formation. If we came back, ooh, never all going the same way, right? Never have it all going the same way. So what if we came back this side? And we're pulling it down. We get a little lighter and a little darker, a little lighter and a little darker. And we're cutting through the rocks, guys. All depends what you want it to look like. I mean, I must have said it 10,000 times already. This is starting to look like my favorite spot out in Utah, actually. It really is starting to look like my favorite spot. Oh, that's so cool. Look at all those little swipes, right? All those little differences in color. Those little bits of action. These little guys that come down in little different ways and get bright in different areas and have those bits of darkness and shadow, right? Those are the bits. Maybe that guy slides down, but we leave that little disconnection back in there too, because it doesn't all have to connect, right? How many times have we said that? It does not all have to be the same. Gorgeous, you guys. I don't even know that I want to put grass anymore. This one's coming out so good with just brown. Oh, it's looking so cool. All right, now before we do anything else, let's get our 1-inch brush, and I want to add a little bit wherever we think our water would be. And it almost looks like, I mean, you could take the water and go like this and just have this whole thing just be this like little river as it's running towards us. It would be really cool looking. But I want to go crazy with these rocks over here on the side and stuff too. So let's get a little of our phthalo blue, just the deep dark blue, maybe a little of the Prussian blue too. And we're just going to start to put it underneath, back in here, just side to side. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You don't want to have it be so super thick. Just like that, right? Start to get our little water as it's starting to come out. Maybe it hits a certain spot over here where it just can't go any further. We're going to have to get down on our hands and knees now. And we start coming out this way, right? So it starts getting longer over here. Just like that. Longer, longer, longer. Right? We've hit our spot over there. We can do whatever we want. We can have a little mini falls. We can do whatever we want to do. Because it's all leaking towards us. It's getting longer and it's getting wider on each swipe, right? In order to have it look like it's coming towards us, you got to have it wider over there. Now we're going to take our blue, fall off the edge right here. All right, connect those blues, pull them off the side. Now we've just dropped down a whole nother level, maybe into a little pile of water down here at the very bottom of the pool. And perhaps, since I love doing these little double or triple or even quadruple waterfalls sometimes, right, we'll take this guy, go off to the side over here. Make this guy a bit bigger off to his side, right? How much water do you want to show falling all up to us? That's very cool. Very cool. Oh, I like it. Oh, I like it. Maybe we pull this guy down too. All right, now we're not putting the blue in between the bits of rock, in between our bit of falls, because why, guys? We don't want all of the paint, all the canvas to be covered in paint. This way we can have our thick rocks back here stick better, right? As we have our little trickling falls. Maybe it comes this way. Right? We can make it, we can do whatever we want. Maybe it comes down, right? It comes down this way. We start going side to side, hits, maybe it comes back, hits over here, no, pull it whichever way we want to pull it. Slide it up there, into our little bit, right? Filling in any area we don't want, and it can come down here. Maybe it falls into our little river that goes this way, falls over. All depends on what it looks like when we start to hit it with some white paint, right? So let's wash that brush off, and all we gotta make sure is that there's a little bit of paint on the canvas where we wanna go touch it. If you go touch your paint, your black canvas with your white paint, and you don't have any undercolor, right, or blue underneath it, man, you are never gonna be able to make that color go away, ever. It's just gonna be there forever. I'm gonna scrape up that bit of skin off the edge. Here we go. Get some more of our little shadowy mix going so we can make up our rocks and all that stuff. I may need to get some more paint out of the old box. Jeez Louise. Get down here, making up our crimson, black, and blue with the Bob Ross paints. As much of the blue as we could get anyway. We're gonna have to get more out of the box for sure. Just like that, nice and thick, right? Now, we're gonna come back, and because I love these little rocks over here, we need to add the dark underneath wherever you're gonna put those rocks, right? The black gesso is not gonna grab it the same way, okay? The black gesso is gonna make it look very flat and very bright versus going over those darker colors, gives you those darker tones, lets it blend in with the shadow, does all that stuff, and helps it pick up in different places so it doesn't all seems so deposited all in one place, which looks awesome right there. Don't get me wrong, but we got to do, we have to have differences. You can't have it the same all over the place. So on this side, we're going to take a little of that darkness, and we're just going to let it mush it down underneath. And now wherever we go across it with, just put my whole arm in a pile of paint. Just my whole arm, my watch, everything as I'm resting it on my table. What a clown. Now, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we're going to come back with our brown paint, our kind of rocky mixture, and go back over it, but leave little disconnects, right? Start sliding it down this way. Maybe we got this side that was coming, catching in. Maybe there's not enough paint on the brush, and we go back and we pick up some more. We start sliding it down. We're getting all these chunks. Look at those chunks. We're going to have to get out some more paint. But just like that, guys. Look at that rock, right? And it slides down this way. It changes direction. It starts to mush and get all those little things, all this extra texture from the skin. Gorgeous, right? Pull it down however you want. The more you mess with it, the more it's going to go dark and crazy, right? Maybe, just maybe. You know what we should do? Let's get it a bit brighter. We're going to get some brighter areas over on the side, on this side over here. So we're just taking the yellow ochre and mixing it in with that brown pile. And then, oh yeah, let's go over those things and just get a couple little brighter areas. And the more we go across them, the more they're going to mix, right? They're going to dull themselves down. It's going to look a little bit more like that side over there. Coming up over here. Slide it down in a different direction, right? All depends. Leaving those little dark areas though. You can't have everything be exactly the same. Nothing has to be the same. Slide it down. Those very cool little things, like it's just catching some light from the sun on a couple little swipes of this little rock, right? Our long little streaks, long little strokes. And we go down the other way, pull it across in the opposite direction up there. So it just messed it all up like that. It's exactly what we want it to be. We don't want it to be all the same. At least I don't. I'm not trying to paint all the same little pieces. Are you guys? We're not trying to paint the entire, all of us trying to do the exact same thing. Nobody's doing that. Look at that cool little bit down there. Man, that's neat. If you ask me, that is just cool. Just stinking cool. Now I'm going to take a bit more of my darkness. We're going to start to work our way down over here. And then we're going to add in some different things. And it's going to be fantastic. All right, we know we got our third waterfall over here. So let's not go too nuts. Come back, a little bit of that brown color, start to disconnect, and then go over our darker shadowy bits, right? Stay disconnected from the other bits of color though. Nothing has to be the same. It all comes floating down there to the base. Who knows? Who knows, right? Nothing has to be the same at all. That looks really cool. So we can even get rid of that whole little waterfall in there and our whole little waterfall over here if, oh dudes, what if we did we could do like a little arch, like a little land bridge over the top of one of those waterfalls. Like it cut its way through the rocks. That's gonna be cool. Okay, so down in here, we're gonna fill in this area, just like that, over there. Filling it down with a bit of our rocky, dark colored paint, just so it's there. All right, and then we're gonna go across, we're gonna fill in our little white area and all that stuff with our water. So, who's ready to see the water come flying out of this guy? I mean, we still got all this paint. We might as well use this thing. We could literally pull these guys down flat over here, trapping in the whole little pool, right? And then what if they just literally came straight down? We could do whatever the crap we wanted to do, guys. We literally could. We literally could. So let's see what that looks like. All right, if we got our little bits, these guys are coming down over here. Right? Just little pieces, little streaks of paint is all you need them to be. And the only way they're streaking like that is because we have our dark paint underneath that you just saw me lay down. That's what gives you all those little dark little spots in there on the inside of that guy. All right, pull our guy down over here. Maybe right here, we're gonna pull straight down, make a little cliff, who knows, right? We'll see what it looks like. We could always go back and make it look different. So, I always say, don't worry about it, man. Everybody worries too much. Constantly worrying, oh, I don't wanna do that because my sky was so good, I don't wanna ruin it, right? Well, let me tell you, that's not the way to paint. That's not the way. You gotta forget about all that stuff. Forget about all the things back in your sky, everything that's already been painted. You gotta forget about it, man. You don't need it anymore. You don't need it anymore. That's really cool. Really cool, you guys. What if we change this guy's angle? And slide it out like that, and then fall straight down. Very cool. Now, let's go back and add in a bit of water in this ginormous painting. And in the meantime, I need to stop putting my arm down in the paint pile over here. That should be a requirement. Don't do that, Josh. Don't put your arm down in the paint pile. I didn't think it would be so dirty so fast. So tell me what you guys are watching from while I try to clean up for a second. Maybe take a little drink of something and see that we're about to hit our, I think we're pretty close to making it in a 90-minute painting, actually, if you're really serious about it. Let's see. Oh, you guys know what? Yeah, we're doing the land bridge there. And then this guy we're going to change. I'm going to change this whole thing. I'm going to take this same paper towel. I'm going to wipe away all that color we just laid on there. Getting rid of all that. We're going to change it into a thing that's going to come down more in front. We're going to play with it. We're going to play with that side over there. Going to play with it a little bit. So let's come back. Let's get our white paint on the fan brush. And here's the part that's a lot of fun. You start lighting up what you want your water to look like, right? So let's say we had just a little bit and we start going back and forth. Right? It's going to start to get brighter, brighter, and brighter. Say we hit a spot, back over here. Right? Little changes, little things. So another spot right there. Right? Little bits as it starts to come down. Maybe you got just a little touch, little dab. It might be like a little small, far away little waterfall over there, right? Sideways, sideways, sideways. Little spaces in between. And then we're going to go push it out with our brush. Watch, I'll show you. It doesn't always look just like that. We go back and we flatten it. And we push it until it starts to look how we want it to look. Leaving those dark areas, leaving the light areas, right? It starts to look like water after a while. Now we're going to come in. Maybe there was another little mini waterfall right there. Just by tapping the water onto it. It just fell down just the smallest bit. And then maybe if we tap a little bit above it, right? Then we can get this little bright area right above. There we go. Right above the falls as it popped over. All right, next little bit. Let's get a little bit of brightness underneath. Very softly going to swipe over those guys, just so you don't see all the detail, right? You can tell what it is. It's kind of like a little babbling brook. It's going over the edge, but we don't want to see every single detail of it, right? Not yet, anyway. Now we're going to come over here. Maybe we'll pop a bit of bush right there. So we'll come out here. And remember, you can't go too far before you have to make a drop, right? I can't do this whole thing as one big level. To me, it doesn't look right that way. Right, so if we pulled it across very straightly, very straight, right? What if we had another little bit where it went, we had a little falls, fell right down onto this guy. Right? Falling down. Then we get to decide what it looks like, where we have it fall, where we have it stop. We slide back off the edge, creating little differences, light areas, dark areas. Maybe this guy fell back here. It's very light with the brush because there's not much paint on it anymore. All right, so we go off the side, over, and down. And it hits wherever. Say we got our rocks, so we need to have another pool back here. So let's say we don't want it to hit too far. And we start going back and forth. Adding our little bit of water as it's getting closer and closer and closer towards us, right? A little bit more of a shiny little pool. And we can go back, we can add rocks in here. We can do whatever we want to do. Trees, whatever we want to do. Just like that. That's going to be gorgeous, right? A little bit there, very lightly going over. Now, we had one falls here, so let's take that and just sort of light that guy up. Falling out, right? I want one falls coming out of this guy, but we don't want to have too much paint there. So, coming out right here, and then we're going to have a little land bridge over the top. Remember what we talked about, guys? He's not as bright, he's a little bit further away, down deeper into the shadows, right? Slide it back. Doesn't all have to be the same, but you want it to sort of be similar. Slide this guy off to the edge. That way you have that little bit where it shows the flatness and then it rolls over. Now, let's go wash this brush off. Stop putting my arm down in the paint, and then maybe we can focus. Maybe. All right. Very cool, guys. So remember, we're giving away a hat. We're giving away a free Paint with Josh hat during the show today. free hat. All you gotta do, all you gotta do is take a screenshot of me holding these two hats, right? Bam! Take your screenshot now. If you were not here in the beginning, here's your chance to enter. If you want this hat, or red, or purple, or green. No, I don't think they have green. Like black and red, all red, white on white. I've got a white on white, come on. So, take your screenshots now of these hats and send me a picture of the screenshot on Facebook if you want to be entered into the thingy. Oh man, I got like a trap burp on there. There we go. Okay, so take your screenshot, which you already should have done, and then send it to me over on Facebook, and we'll see if we can't give away a free hat to a viewer right now. I wanted to make sure that the painting sold before we gave away the hat, but it's number 900. It's okay. It's all good. Now, let's see. We need more white paint onto our brush, so let's come back over here. Let's load it up with the white. And let's get back on our knees, do our squats today, here and there and everywhere. Now, let's come over off the back. Fall down, just like that, right? A little bit lower. All based on our pressure. A little bit lower. Bang. Pressure, 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 and the amount of paint that we have on the brush, right? Now, all depends on what you want yours to look like, how bright you want it to be. You can go back, you can add more paint, right? You can even go back and add more paint after each swipe if you wanted to. All up to you. How do you want yours to look? That's what I always say. Fall off. Now, with all these bits, all we're going to do, very lightly, swiping them back and forth, right? Creating our little pool, but these guys, we're dragging that little bit of paint sideways. So it looks like it comes to the edge. It gets all tumultuous and white right there, right? You get that extra bit of brightness versus the darkness back here. Then it comes to the edge and it falls over the side. Out there, off the edge, right? Now, all depends on what you want yours to look like, how far it goes down. Does it come down? Where does the little pool hit? Is there another pool? Maybe the pool's a little bit higher over on this side. A little bit lower over on this side. Maybe even a little bit lower on that side, right? All depends. This little crystal clear action down here, looking really cool if you ask me, guys. But, I mean, you know, who am I? Who am I? Nobody. So, bang, just like that. Very neat little painting for number 900. That's fantastic. We'll go back and add green onto these trees, too. And then, I love this right here. It's like, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that completely like that. It's like shininess on top of the water. Like the water's very, oh yeah, it's like a little sheen, right? As long as we don't put too much on there and you don't overdo it, you get this little bit of shininess just by pulling straight across with the fan brush, right? Wherever you want to have your little excess of shiny action. Okay, now let's come back up here. We're going to wash that brush off and let's get to it. Because I don't want to be up here until like 11 at night. Jeez. Okay, let's see you guys. Let's bring in some more rocks for over here. And you could make that whole waterfall even bigger. You could have it falling off of all sides. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to just go to that side. You could literally have it fall. We could do it. Should we do it? Let's put a rock in there and then we'll do it. Let's put a rock in and then we'll do it. You can do whatever you want to do. Let's come in here. Watch this. We're going to come up into the water above it. Help it push that bit of water back. Come out over our waterfall like that. Now we're going to drag down a little bit of our darkness, right? Just a little touch, dropping our dark paint wherever it needs to be out there to have our little rock. That's all you got to do. Now come over with our brown paint. Just going to cover the one side so that from our right, not covering every single piece. Down like that. Very cool. Simple as that, guys. Very soft little rock out there, just like so. Now I want to do it with my fan brush. Here we go. Now we're going to come back again with the liquid or our titanium white and come off the side over there. All right. We're going to fall down any which way that you want it to be. You can have it fall down. I am cereal, you guys. Super cereal. There we go. Pulling it off to the side, and then watch. I'm going to go back and redo my little rock bit right there. And that way, it stays right in the foreground, just by popping in a little bit of darkness over the top of it. Bang. Right there. See that? You guys see that? It's not a hard thing, guys. Let's come back with our 2-inch brush. Very lightly over the edge. Very lightly. Very lightly. Boom. That guy's a little darker over there. Now, we said we were going to do like a little land bridge type thing. So let's pop a bit of darkness. That's not dark. There we go. Bit of darkness over there. Looks like gray to me. It got mixed in with some white. That's what happened. That's what happened, guys. So, a bit of our dark color. There we go. Go across the bit of waterfall, right? Connect it to that rock. Then we're going to bring this guy up a little bit more. We'll have that very deep, dark, cool little thing like that. If we can make it happen, Captain. So, underneath, there we go. Showing a little bit of our water, right? You got to have a little bit of that. And now we got to highlight it in order to get it to stand out. So let's go across little bits. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad of a little land bridge, if you do ask me. Let me take this guy over here. All we're doing, deciding where the light is hitting on the rocks, pulling down. That's literally it. Literally it. I don't like this land bridge, so I'm going to show you how to get rid of it. Scrape it off. All right, we're going to come back with our brush, pulling from both sides, taking the water and pulling it this way. All right. Now we're going to go over the edge, just making it a little darker. Who cares? Who cares, right? As long as we get rid of that little land bridge, we can come back in with our white, going over the side. That's better. Bang. Just like that, right? Again, taking the white, sliding it to the edge, showing it going back, and then if you have to, you got to put a little bit of rock back out there to cover over wherever your waterfall is coming from. Right? You can't show every single thing, so get out there and cover over some bits, right? Little sharp little things that are sticking out, little differences and little things, guys. Just cover it. Got to cover over them. A bit of that, our brown, and our yellow ochre, little swipes here and there and here, a couple little bits, and bingo, bango, you guys, you got a really cool little waterfall with a little neat little rock down here too. All right, let's come back with our last guy, and in order to do that, let's get our black and blue all mixed up, and that way we can create a very deep dark color. So we're going to leave the crimson out of it on this guy. All right, this guy that's out here in the front, right up here, he's going to be the deepest, darkest. So just black and blue by themselves. Cover over the edge. Cover over some of that. A little bit over there. A little bit over here. Just making it all weird looking at the top, right? Little weird looking, strange looking little rock. Mixing it very dark. And that way, you're going to retain all of your cool little shadows. And when we go across it with our highlights, what's going to happen, guys? It's going to pick up in different places. And it's going to be neat. Right? All these little differences because the paint underneath it is all jagged and at a different height and different levels and different colors and different everything. It's all mixed in there. Right? And so, when you go across it with your highlight paint, it just really makes it really neat. We come down here. Bingo, bango, like that. Dropping it down. You don't have to have it be so super bright. We're going to mess up the bottom anyway. Gonna mess up the bottom with some misty foam and all sorts of stuff. So, you guys tell me where you're watching from and what's your favorite sandwich? Remember, if you're watching over on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Gotta give me a thumbs up over there. If you're watching over on Facebook, thank you for being here. And if you're watching over on TikTok, I love you guys. Make sure you're tapping the screen, doing all that stuff. Tell me where you're watching from. We got Kenya, we got Oklahoma. Man, how did I paint that? It's, well, it's been about, 89 minutes, almost 90 minutes since we started. And now we're just about done. We just got to add a few more little pieces of detail and little stuff. So, what we do need to do is get some more paint out of the old paint box first. And then it won't be so hard to be scraping all the stuff that we got. There we go. Get a little bit of that. We got the crimson. Let's get the blue out real fast. I figured I might run out of paint on a big old painting like this. I mean, eventually you're gonna run out of paint. So, our blue down in there, perfection. I love this glare on the water like that. It's so cool looking. So cool looking. Okay, let's see now. That's it. Paint with Josh on your knees. Everybody. Okay. We're gonna mix up a little of the black and blue. I know you can't see it, but that's what I'm doing over here. Mixing up a touch of the black and blue together. So again, we can come back in and make a little bit more rocky undertone color, right? We have to have that thick, dark paint underneath our lighter color in order for it to grip and grab, right? It's gonna grip and grab on. So if we're gonna grip and grab there, why don't we grip and grab over here and just start chucking down a few little bits, kind of line back up with our little swipes that were going before, and all of a sudden you got a very cool little thing. Doesn't have to line up, remember. Take this guy, drag him down a bit further back there. Woo! Very cool, guys. But doesn't have to do anything, remember. Maybe this guy started to come down here, get a little bit more of our darker mix, all that darker paint down in here like that. And then we'll see what we're gonna do with this little bit of our rocky section back here, right? Very cool. All it has to be is dark. That's all we really care about. Is it dark? Well, good then. That's what we need it to be. Now, what if we slid it down at a different, sharper angle right down there? And then, guys, what if we came out this way, right? Down there, get rid of that white. I don't know where I keep picking up that white from. I mean, it's right next to the black, but yeah, down there like that. We'll get that little rock, and then we'll put in a little section right in here. So, I know it's a little hard to see, especially being down here at the bottom. But just like that, I'm going to save a little piece of that water back behind. I'm going to make sure this paint is very dark, right? Very dark colored paint back here. Got to mix it all up. Be all gross. Get rid of all that light color that we accidentally dropped on there. And then you really got to make it dark. Then when we come across it with our color, it's going to stand out as in front, right? So maybe we have a little piece over here, a little bit over there, just touching it, flicking it, dragging it, little bits, right? Little things, you guys. There we go. I'm gonna brighten up that bit of brown just a touch more. And then come back up into here. Look at that, right? Not leaving everything shown though. It doesn't all have to be the same color. It doesn't all have to be the same amount of brightness or the same amount of darkness or the same direction. Nothing has to be the same. So don't let anybody tell you that it does, because it doesn't. There we go. Very cool. Now, we got one little spot back here where it looks like we can continue on with our bit of darkness, right? Get that dark, rocky color, just the shadowy mix back in there. And then, once we can hit that guy with a bit of our highlight, it would be very cool. Right over here. Get my aerobics in today, guys. Slide it down in different directions back towards the water down here. Very cool. Now, I don't want it to be necessarily so bright right back in the shadowy side. So let's add some more dark color right over the top until it goes to a color that we like, right? Doesn't have to be the same, but that's very cool. Okay, now, let's go highlight those trees way off in the distance with the last of our little paint. And then we should be good to go, guys. We should be really cool. So, make sure you come up with a name for this painting. What would you name it? If you had just painted it, if it was your painting, what are you naming it? And tell me in the comments, because I would love to hear what you guys would think for a name for this guy. So, tell me in the comments. Ooh, that's a big old chunk of skin. Those chunks of skin make for lots of texture, right? Lots of texture in that guy. Okay, very cool. Let's take a step back and we'll see what we're looking at back here. That's a mountain and a half and a little waterfall. My goodness, winter falls. I dig it. I dig it. Is the buyer in the comment? That means it's sold? There's no way. There's no way. No way. Tag that guy, because there's no way this painting sold. It was quite a hefty paint. Quite a hefty price tag on it. So I will be surprised if it did sell, and I will love you forever. Let's see. Man, it's going to take so long for this thing to dry. There's so much stinking paint on it. Go back here with our little tree trunk, same brown. Feels like it's been so long since I actually stood up. Now a little bit of the darkness behind it just to help it retain that very round look. If you put that bit of dark back there, then it will be more 3D than if you just leave it with the initial kind of outline, right? Put a little bit of darkness back underneath there, underneath that color. Look at the difference. Look at the difference, guys. Let's come off of this guy. Just touching, and then a little teeny tiny pull to the side, and sometimes not even at all. All right, come back again with the darkness behind the brown. Behind it, though. Gotta be behind it. Let's see, maybe this guy, he's got a bit more brightness on his trunk. There we go, just touching all the way up. Gorgeous little thing. Go back with our dark color. And be careful, the taller up to the top you get. Yeah, be careful. There we go. Gorgeous. Now, let's get a bit of our yellow ochre and our brown colors. We're going to come in here, and just every so often, we're going to add a little bit of an indication of a trunk way back in our old saggy old trees back here. Right? Sometimes we're not even going to see the whole thing. We're going to cover over the majority of it. So we don't need to see every single piece. Now let's go back with a little smaller fan brush, because I like using the smaller fan brushes to highlight these trees. Don't ask why. I don't know why. I just like to do it. So we're going to get our liquid white and the sap green to make it a very wet, runny kind of mix. And then on this guy, let's tap off to the side. And we're just going to start adding little things just by slapping up into the tree. Little bits of brightness over the top of our shadows, right? And then as we go darker and we start working it back and back and back and back, we go less and less and less, right? Then we'll go back over it and make it a little less bright as well. Just like that. These guys caught some sun, baby. You guys caught some sun. There we go. That's the kind of color we want right there. Not everything is all the same, leaving some shadows, leaving some dark areas and some light areas. And then we're going to come back in on this old guy and just tap them in, right? Little bits. They don't have to be every which where. Just a bit of green on our trees back there is all we're really looking for. All we really need is a bit of green on them trees back up in there. Just like that. Let's get a little bit more of our liquid white. Give you a touch. There we go. Let's see now. Let's see what we're looking at now. Especially over this titanium white area. Add a little bit of our odorless mineral spirits to the brush. And then we go back in, kind of filling in our little trees. Leaving those dark areas though, remember. It's gotta be dark. So every so often we go back, we fill them in. That way it's not a perfect thing. You get that little shadow, got a little bit of our tree kind of sticking out right in the front at us. Very cool looking. Very cool looking, guys. So let's come back and we're gonna go back in. We're gonna load up that brush again, a little bit of our sap green and a little of our odorless mineral spirits, just so it's gonna come off the brush nice and easily, right? And just with the sap green over here, come off of the back of this guy like this. Just a couple little taps, right? Want it to be a little dark. It's going to be a little wet, which is okay. Now we're going to come back with our brighter color on the opposite side. So we're putting this in over here, because now we've got, these guys are all in the sun. So they're going to be a little bit brighter on their brighter side like this guy was over here. Just getting caught out. Oh, see that? A little darker color. Bring it down a bit. Very cool. All about working at it and working at it and working at it, guys. Working for the weekend. So, did it get purchased? And if so, by who? Girls? Anybody? Anybody? Let's see. I thought we were done. Looks like it's time for 1,000 details. Let's see. So, Danielle says yes. It is sold. Wow. Who got it? Henry? No. Who got it? Oh, it's we know it's sold, but we don't know who. Okay, I'm down. I'm down for that. I'm gonna get a little of my liquid white, a little of the sap green, and a little of my cad yellow. Just a touch. All we're gonna do is come onto this guy, pop, and start making little bits stand out. Because he's gonna, again, he's in the sun on this side. That other guy was sort of in the shadowy side. These two are in the shadow. That guy's catching sun around the front of the mountain over there, right? So, little taps, little things just on our right side, and we try to brighten up any little bit that wants to come off of our brush, just like that. And again, you're gonna start to see that the paint, it starts to mix. You gotta be careful, right? You want a few light areas, you want a few dark areas, but you gotta be careful about how it's mixing and the amount of the ratio of the mix, right? If it's not wet enough, it's not gonna come off, and then in which case, it's gonna look really funny if it's not wet enough. So, a little bit of our yellow, a little bit of our green, gonna tap it in there, and then just start smacking up at our tree. This guy's way out in the sun, look at this. Woo! I like that, guys. Working him towards the little shadowy side, so it's not a perfect not a perfect straight line there. Man, that's pretty. Very lightly working him in, just kind of tapping at those super bright areas just to dull him down to littlest touches. There we go, I like that. That's very cool. Picking up little differences all throughout the tree, and its dark areas too, right? Gotta have its dark areas in there, because if there's no darkness in those little bits, then there's no depth. And if you go cover over your darkness, you better be able to go put it back. Otherwise, you're gonna be in trouble. Paint with Josh is gonna come after you. You are in trouble, right? Leave those dark sides, leave the bright sides, leave the very cool sides. Very cool, guys. Let's see, a couple more bits over here, just to darken her down. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Now, we got those, we got those, we got that, we got that. All we need is one more ginormous tree right up here in the front with a bunch of big old branchies, and then we'll be all set, guys. All set to go. So remember, start coming up with a name for this painting. Come up with a name. What would you name this old guy if it was your painting? How do we already run out of black? I put a whole giant stack of black on the palette. A whole stack of black. And it's already gone. Somebody came in, took it. They came in, took my black right off my palette. Just came and took it while I wasn't looking. I know you guys just want to stare at my butt. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody's now tuning out that has to look at my rear end. It is tuned out. See you later, Josh. We're out of here. Not looking at that. Very cool, you guys. Okay, now, this whole rocky little mess over here. Very neat. Very cool, you guys. Now, we're going to take our dark color with our black and our blue. All right, it's going to be the two darkest things we've mixed together today. The black and just the blue. And just the black and just the blue. I'm going to skip the crims. This crims got left on this guy. Skip the crimsy, right? Getting it all nice and thick. And then, pull it out down here just so you can kind of make it into a little chiseled shape. There we go. Don't have too much. Now, let's come in. Let's put him, where's he going to sit? I mean, dude, we could do one right in the front. Do one off of this guy, big old thing. You could do a big old tree that came in and sat right here in like this little nook back in there. Right, like a little seed fell off and he came back and sat right in there. You could have him growing right out the top of this guy. Just be as big as all heck. So I think we're going to put him over here and he might live right back in this little cove. I don't want him to be too close to us, but let's work a couple forward. So maybe we can even bring him down a bit further. Who knows? But we're going to come up a bit taller than the mountain, very lightly. Once you're there, just go. Go, go, go. And then the more we push down, the more we push in, extending the bristles, extending the branches, bringing everything out. Bringing it nice and into our foreground and very thick. Dude, even bring it down a bit further. Plop, right in there. And it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker as it goes down. Right? That trunk eventually ends up being about the size of a 1-inch brush over here. So, and the further that we bring it down, right, if you continue to bring it all the way down through there, it would look like it's right out in front. Right up here with us all. Just chilling, everybody. Just chilling. Should we go? Let's do it. Let's go down a bit more. I like it. I like the look of it. I like the fatness of it right here. I'm just like it was just living back in there somewhere. No, I can't live on the edge of that. Now we got to go all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom. Boom. So now our big old tree is way the heck right up here into our foreground. From the above the mountain to way down on the bottom of the canvas. That's a 3.5. If you do ask, I would tell you that's a 3.5. Actually, let's make it a little thicker actually. Let's come up right there and then we'll go thicker, 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 boom, until it really lines up. There we go. Now it's going off the top of the canvas. That guarantees we're out here in the front. Taking it nice and dark, really thick, slathering the thick, dark black paint on there as thick as you can possibly get it. Just like that, really cool. Now we're gonna come over here, wash that off, maybe take 5 or 6 times to wash all this color off this brush. Just so much in there. Just so much. So, tell me guys, do you think I just ruined the painting? Tell me if you think I ruined it. Tell me if you think I ruined it. It's okay, I can take it. If you guys think I ruined it, then you can tell me it's all right. It's all right. You can tell me anything. I don't know what that is, I'm just making it up. Let's go over here into our thinner, and then into our dark pile of paint where we created our blue, black, and crimson. Maybe snag some of our brown, bring it over there as well, and just work it into that darker color. There we go. Really super dark, and because we just grabbed the brown, then it became much thicker. So we need to go back, add more of our odorless thinner, our mineral spirits. That odorless mineral spirits, which is going to thin it down into this very watery thing, so much so that we have to hold the palette sideways, like flat, so it doesn't run off. Right? Maybe up here, we're just going to have some ginormous old brand. These are the small guys. Those are the little sticky guys that hang off the top of the tree, and those are humongous. Just humongo gigantus. Look at these guys growing. Right? This is why we don't add too much paint over here. We're not adding a bunch of trees in the background, right? We didn't take a bunch of snow and add it back behind this tree because I knew in my heart that I wanted to come out here and just do this crazy old sucker and have this big old monster just tree branch right in front. So, in order to do that, we left the paint behind it nice and thin. Right? It's thin back there. It's just the original paint on the canvas. Nothing too crazy. Just a little bit of mist. Right? Maybe crisscrosses back and forth. You get a couple little branches. They don't all have to go the same way. Now as you go out into your mountain, be careful. The further you go out that way, the harder it's going to be to come off the brush. Don't try to force it. That's why I'm saying stay in the misty area. Don't go crazy. Big old chunk of skin right there. There we go. I worked him back into the center, and now I can pick him up. Look at that. That big old monster chunk of paint was in my branch of my tree, but you'll never know. You will never know. Now we'll come back over here again. And maybe this guy came off, and he was growing down, and he was going the other way. Right? It starts to look like they're going both ways, even though we all know we're painting from the same side of the tree over here. Couple little bits, couple little branchies, and go off, just like us. Everybody goes off sometimes, right? Make this guy a bit thicker. Work him out over there. It's got to be a bit thicker at the trunk though if you're going to have it go for a long time, maybe crisscross in front of a tree. Then you got to have it be, first have it be very thin on the brush, but have your branch be thicker down here so it can hold up all that excess weight. Right across the tree again. 2 trips across the wettest part of the entire painting, and we're still going. Very cool. Look at how clogged up that brush is getting now. See, it's about to drip off. It's because there's too much thick paint and not enough thinner. And if there's not enough thinner or odorless mineral spirits, then we can't make our paint come off of the brush easily, and therefore we can't make our trees very easily, or branches anyway. So back there, a little bit more wet. Coming up into here, cutting through all that paint. Again, I'm really not going to try to go down too far into this section where there's all that stuff. That'll be a little trick for the buyer, a little treat for the buyer. He'll look one day and he'll be like, oh, I didn't know there was a branch right there. Like the whole time, I thought those were just little details in the rocks. I had no idea there was a branch there, right? Maybe this guy is gonna come out here and stay into this dark area because there's not a lot of paint. We can make him reach all the way out towards the waterfall, guys, and just keep going as far as we can get him to go. All up to us, but we're staying in that area where there is no paint from these rocks, right? It's that shadowy spot where there is no paint there. So, maybe this guy, he'll branch off the side, he'll branch off that way. Don't need to worry about him too much. Nothing too much. A couple little bits. Maybe there's one over there, and right through there. Who knows? Not gonna see all of them, right? Very cool. Let's wash this off. Then we'll go back and highlight that guy, and then we'll be all done, guys. So, come up with a name for this painting and tell me what you think it should be called while I try to catch my breath after such a mega painting today. I can't believe it's sold too. I can't believe it. If you guys don't know who it is in the comments, it might be Tim, because he doesn't watch on TikTok. And he's been buying paintings recently, and so it might be Tim, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to end one of the streams and see. So guys, remember, this is your last chance to get your screenshots in. Get your screenshots, send them over to Facebook, right? And then go over to YouTube or YouTube or TikTok to see the live winner come out of the hat, right? So if you want your chance at winning for free, you don't have to do anything except screenshot this and send it to my Facebook page. And however many people we get, we're gonna quickly write down the names, and then we're gonna pull them out the hat, and poof, we're gonna give away a free hat. So if you want it, I hope you got your screenshots in. I gave you 4 opportunities to get a screenshot in on this one. 4 opportunities to win a hat. So, let's go like this. Let's get the knife. There we go. Not over there. Wash that? That's not been washed yet. Okay, now, let's come back with our brown and a bit of yellow ochre, and we're gonna mix them up right down here like we were before. Scrape up a bit. Now with this guy, like way into the corner of my table over here, we're gonna have to drag across, right? We're gonna touch, but we're also gonna pull across the whole tree trunk. And that way, the same bit of brown that we've been using, right? Been using the same bit of brown the whole time. It's not gonna get confused with the other bits of brown in our rocks because it's going in a different direction. It's gonna have that round look to it. Gonna have the darkness along the side, right? Little bright spots here and there. A little bit of trunk, little bark, little craziness, right? Doesn't have to be the same thing. We just want it to be fun. Just be fun and weird, and you know, maybe it gets brighter in one spot because the sun hit it right there for, you know, better than any other place. I don't know. You guys go, you'll make it up in your own head. You gotta tell your own stories. But nobody's gonna be able to tell you, or should be able to tell you anyway, that you know, it shouldn't look like that. You know, it shouldn't be this, it shouldn't be that. Next time someone says that, just be like, look, go paint your own. This one's mine. I challenge you. You go redo it and paint your own one, right? And then you don't do that, or you do this, or you should have it look like that. Doesn't have to be a certain way. Not one bit at all, you guys. So let's get the last of our black up here. Blue, we're gonna turn the knife over. We're gonna come over here. Remember, send me your screenshots on Facebook. If you haven't sent it in on Facebook, you're not gonna be included into the raffle for the new Paint with Josh hat giveaway. It's a free giveaway. All you gotta do is take a screenshot on your phone. That's it. All you gotta do. I know you're all watching from your phones anyway. Everybody watches from the phones. All we're doing, working that dark black back towards the light, right? So you'll have that one dark side of the tree, which will make it look round. Very cool, and it's gotta be extra dark because it's the deepest, darkest shadow. It's our very foreground thing. Gotta have it be dark. So pretty much just straight black. Now we're gonna work our bit of tree trunk back in. Need to make it a bit brighter in some places. Right, little things here, there, everywhere. Every so often, you grab a new little bit of color, dump it down in a new little spot. All up to you guys. All up to you. So remember, come up with a name for this painting. We are done. We are done with this bad boy. It took forever, but we are done with him. So, come up with a name for it. What would you want this one to be called if you had just painted it? Or, if you're the buyer, tell us what we're going to name this gun. Because we all want to know. There we go. A little bit of our brownery. Right onto our little sticks. Very cool. Leaving a bit of shadow and a bit of color. You don't have to cover the whole thing. I want the whole thing covered, that's for sure. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see. Boop. A little bit of brownage, brownage, brownage. Put it on this guy right here. Now, this is when it comes to play, because in order to have these guys stand out, again, you want to leave a little bit of dark color behind it, but also add that little bit of light on the top and not have it be confused with the rocks that are behind it. It's the same color, you know what I mean? So, takes practice, guys, it takes practice. A little bit of brown on top of this guy, just with the flat edge of the knife. Just like that cool little branch coming out there. Very neat. Very neat little one. So, let's name the painting, guys, and let's add a bit of our spray for our waterfall, and then we'll be all done. All done. So, let's see. Bailey, you still awake? Bailey? You still, obviously still awake? Okay. Okay, let's see here. Now, I'm gonna get Bailey up extra early tomorrow to get on the bus, guys. I'm gonna get on the bus for the first time. So, I'll be like that. I know she doesn't want me to, but I'd be that dad, like walk by, I'm like, come on, let's go to the bus. Sit there and wait. Hold your backpack. You know what I mean? I'm that dad. And she'd be like, no, Dad, just go. Like, leave. There's other kids here. Don't embarrass me in front of these other kids. I don't want them to see that I have parents. Obviously, they don't have parents. So I don't want them to see that I have parents. And if you could just leave, Dad, that would be fantastic. Anyone else get that from their little kiddos? Or is that just me? Is that just me? All right, let's see. The heck were we doing now? We're going to put the birds in. We're going to add the splash. That's right. Splashy bits of water. So a little bit of our titanium white, and come down here, up into the waterfall, not down into the water, into up here, not down into there, leaving a little what, guys? What are we gonna leave inside, right underneath our little bit of our splashy water? Anybody? Anybody? These guys are gonna leave make them a little bit smaller, a little bit less bright, and then just kind of pull away from them, very light. Right? And then you're going to go back and add little bits of swipies and little shiny bits and things here and there. Very cool. Very cool. But does anybody know what that little thing is that we're trying to leave way back underneath our little bits of water where they meet? Because you don't want them to all be the same, right? Can't have all the color be the same. Dark separator, that's it. Who was that? Jessie May said the dark separator. Exactly. Now, Jessie May, does Jessie May know how big the dark separator should be, right? How big does the dark separator, how big should it be is the question. I always say about the same thing. We're going to take a little bit of our 1-inch brush and just mix up the smallest little bit. Right there, it's further away than these guys. Less detailed. Don't worry about it. Doesn't have to look the same. Very lightly up into our rock over here. So softly up into these rocks. Down into the water, very straight, right? Shh, very straight. That little dark separator in between the white and the white, right? A little bit. Same thing right there, little piece. Now, down in here, we can push a little bit harder. We can go further up into our rocks, right? It's gonna start to mess around with the color, but you can do whatever you want, right? Bring it down here. Now, as we work it down, look at the little thing. What's in between there and about how big is it? Anybody? Anybody? Call it Lion Falls. Is there a lion? Is there a lion in it somewhere? About a 1/4 inch. There it is. So, you guys know about a 1/4 inch of depth in between the light color and the light color. And then you have that very cool little shadow that's underneath it right there. So let's take this guy, work him up, work him to the side. Maybe they connect. Who knows? Maybe on this side, we come over here, we bring it to over there, or over there. Maybe they don't connect on that side, right? Maybe just a little bit of disconnection, like they're reaching out, trying to get to it. Or maybe they do. Who knows? All up to you, right? Now we take this guy over here. We come out to the side. We come up. We don't push down first. We go up, we go up, we go up. Now we start to work it down to that very last little bit of the dark separator way back in there. Now here comes the fun part. We take our liquid white onto a fan brush. We take the fan brush. We put the fan brush way out here onto the edge. We deposit all that nasty paint. Now we come in here and we start throwing in little splatters. Those are the best parts. You don't have to have a whole ton, right? It's not it's not Niagara Falls coming down where you just got 10 million little bits of splashies. But just like that, you got these wicked cool, actually let's add, drop the whole brush right there. Let's add a few more little bits of messiness back in there. That guy got blended away too much. Right, so we use less pressure, keeping our little white area back in here. A little bit brighter than everything else, right? Go across the bottom again and then come back with our little spray. Toss our little spray bits all over the place. Maybe these guys had like 3 little, just the teeniest, tiniest little guys. But they're not as big as these ones, right? They're much further away in our mind. I wouldn't be able to see little spurts of water from way back there. So, all right, guys. Now, I'm going to clean off these brushes. We're going to end the Facebook stream so I can look at the Facebook messages. And then, everybody who's watching over on Facebook, go over to my YouTube channel. If you entered the drawing, go over to the YouTube channel now. Leave the Facebook page now. Go over to YouTube if you want to continue watching, and maybe, just maybe, you might win. All right? Maybe, just maybe. Just maybe. So, let's finish scraping this thing off, and then we'll wipe it down. So, we're going to end the Facebook stream. So, I want to thank everybody who's watched over on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in to Monday Night Madness. It was a crazy show. It was a long show. It was the 900th painting in my career, and I want to thank you guys for being here and watching it, and interacting with me, and watching, and commenting, and tapping on the screen, and doing all that stuff. I love you guys so very much. So, let's see what we can do. So, everybody watching on Facebook, go over to YouTube, or go over to TikTok, finish watching over there, especially if you entered to win. Maybe you win a free hat. No purchase necessary, right? No purchase necessary. Just gonna clean up my mess over here. And then, and here we go. Why do you wear gloves, Josh? I don't know. Easy cleanup, guys. Super easy. Okay, let's end the Facebook stream. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, get him out of here. We'll see you later. Okay, thank you for the gifts over here on TikTok. Thank you for that. Okay, let's come over here. We're never going to delete this. We're going to post it now. Perfect. That was an awesome little painting, you guys. So, everybody who sent in, let's go check, and we'll find all the messages and all the stuff. Let's see. I'll log in like that. And bop, 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 bop. Here we go. So, I hope you guys took some screenshots and you sent them over to Facebook. I really do hope so. I really, really do. Let's see. Man, this one came out fantastic. Let's check the order. And let's see if it is the same person who I think. We got... Oh no, it's someone I've never seen before. I can't believe that. That's insane. A brand new person, never seen before. Oh wow, we're being attacked by lions right now. What are you talking about? The top right, the thing. It sort of looks like a. Oh, stepping on my own tripod. This thing right here. Is that what you're calling a lion? Because it sort of looks like a bamboo or like one of those like the red hiney monkey, but it's not a bamboo. It's a baboon. A bamboo. Looks like a bamboo or something over there. Oh, very cool. So, well, at least we have a buyer. Let's see if the buyer wants to choose the name. And then, What else? What? Holy crap! I think number 841 sold as well. To wow, that's yeah. 841 sold to Anna. Anna, are you still here watching? Are you still here? So Anna won one, and this other person, not won one, bought one, and this other person bought this one. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, very cool. $8.99 is still available. That's one of my favorites. Yes, bamboo. Don't make fun of me. Don't make fun. All right, let's come back over here. I'm sorry, guys. I just got to get the info over there. Let's come back over here. And why don't I have anything? Let's see. Yeah, Screen Shark. No, we did not forget. Let's see. I know, I just recently changed my my password again, and now it's like, did you forget your password? No, didn't forget the password. Thank you very much. Just log me in, please. Oh my goodness. Why did I decide to get rid of this one? Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, you guys are, at least the people that want the free hat are still going to be here watching. That's all that matters. Come on! Ah, you're freaking... You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Killing me, Smalls. Hey, there we go. Perfect. We're in. We're in! All right, inbox. Here we go. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, now I'm going to start getting some names down. So, you guys are going to sit and watch. If you want to win that hat, your name, if you've sent in a photo, is on the back side of this thing somewhere. So, let's get this and that and that. Hey, Bailey. Yeah. Can you bring me a piece of paper? Just like out the printer. Just bring me a piece of paper real quick. Just a piece of paper. I got tons, guys. You got way more than I thought I was going to get. Way more. Apparently everybody wants the brand new hat. Everybody, Bailey. Holy moly. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's more. And more. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Holy cow. Yeah, I see lots and lots. Oh my. Okay. Thanks, love. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Now, let's go like this. I'm going to flip the Facebook, or the thing around here. And we'll go like that so we can read the comments. I can't see you guys. Hang on. There we go. What a mess this is. Okay. What a mess this is, trying to do everything all by yourself, right? So, Pride of the Peaks, add the birds, you're right, almost forgot. Almost done forgetted the old birdies. Let's go over here. So, I'm going to get to, I don't think I'm going to write all the names, I'm going to put initials for everybody. And then we'll do the little thingy. Like that. Now, this is something that London normally did in the background if we were doing... a live show where we were going to do a giveaway like that. She would have done it in the background as people were sending in screenshots, so I didn't have to do it all at the end of the show. But it's all right. You guys that want one are going to sit there and wait for it. So let's go over here. Honestly, from a very a first-time buyer to buy one of the most. This is the second most expensive painting I've ever sold live through TikTok in a live show. Especially, the first one was a commission piece, so it was already sold. I knew it was already done through the show, right? But this is the most expensive piece and the biggest one that we painted live on TikTok, and I'm so surprised it sold. So surprised. Bring you guys up here. What's happening, everybody, with my craziness? I know YouTube's still on over there. All right, let's get going on this thing, and we're going to give away a hat. It's going to be way cool. It's going to be way cool. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to go like this. Where's my marker? If she's not here to tell us what the name is, then then we're not going to name it. And we will just wait for her. But I'll turn it around and sign it and do all that stuff too on the back. So it's all good. All good. Unpinned. Doesn't read it. What happened? What did I miss, Danielle? Pin it again. Yeah, number 900. Yeah, they stand for 1 minute. So if you pinned it for a minute and I didn't look at the screen, that's my own fault for not looking at the screen for a minute. So, if you haven't entered, there is no entering by now. There is no entering now. You had 4 chances to tune in during the 2 hour and 10-minute show. No wonder why we're so sweaty. Let's see. Hey, Eve's Artistry, what's happening? Let's see. You made me mad by what? Calling our lion a monkey. All right, guys. Where's my marker at now? Why don't I just lose everything? I'm serious. It's just gone. What the frick? I know it's here. It's like staring me in the face on my table. It's like looking at me, but I can't see it. It didn't fall. Where the F is it? Oh, little... Ah, there you are. Got you. Got you. I knew it was up here. Okay. Now, let's get these down. And we're going to draw... Oh, God, there's literally a ton. There is a ton. A ton of names. You guys are killing me. Okay. We got that. Oh, there's Bridge. Okay, number 9. That's very cool. The buyer is watching on Facebook. Okay, now I need to ask her what the name is. Send it. Cool. Got that. Got that. Christopher, got it. Here we go. So, bingo, bango. Michelle, Sheila. Got that. Got that. Got Jessica Rose. If I could spell. There we go. My goodness. Okay. Chantel. Very cool name. Steve. We got Steve. Got old Steve over there. Let's see who else is watching. Here we go. Man, some of these don't even look like what they are. I hope I don't draw that one. Okay, got Judy. Perfect. Ashley. Awesome. Emma. There we go. What else we got? We got James. We got Jamie Lynn. Cool. Where else here? Anita. Is that last name? Ah. Okay, we're on to the next column. My goodness, you guys. I'm sure nobody is even watching anymore, right? You guys still watching this? Nobody could be watching anymore. Man, it looks like everybody wants a hat. There we go. DJ. Let's see. All right, we're almost to the end, guys. Almost to the end. I know it. I know it. Oh, my God. There's way more. That's a long last name. There we go. Hopefully we'll pick one that I can read. And if you don't win, there will be more chances to win a hat, guys. So we're going to do this more, we're going to do this a smarter way next time. Definitely going to do this a smarter way. Lindsay. We got April and Susie. It's okay, they're all written down in the same way they were sent in. Joan and Manda. got that. Got Kendra. I can't spell anymore. I'm not even looking at the words now. Got Jackie. Okay. We got Aaron. We got Sandy. We got Becky. All right. We're getting to the bottom. There's 3 more, guys. There's 3 more. We got Paul. We got Rick. And we got Jacqueline. Okay, now I gotta cut all these little things up. Get them into the hat. And get them out of the hat. Okay, so try not to cut my fingers off while we come over here. And you guys will see them, and then I'll fold them, and then we'll put them in, and then we'll draw. And the winner, all you gotta do is send me a message over on Facebook with your address, and I'll get it sent out to you. Just like this, guys. So, looks like they aren't all lined up just right. That's what you get for, firstly, having the worst penmanship known to man. Secondly, next time I'm going to put a limit on it. I'm going to be like the first 20 names versus all of these. Oh, my. Hopefully I can read all of them, I swear. I'm not joking. But they're all on a list. I can just go back and look at them. So. There we go. Only like 5 cuts left. And then we're going to get down to it, guys. We're going to get down to it. Remember, you're going to be able to choose which hat you want. So I have them in black. I have them in white. I have them in red, right? Black on black, white on white, red on red. Then I have them in yellow and black. Black and red, black and purple, black and gray. I don't think I went with the black and white. And then black on black, obviously. So get over to the store and get one if you don't end up winning it tonight. There will be other chances to win, so don't worry. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. That, now we're just gonna cut them in half. I didn't think I was gonna be doing arts and crafts. I thought I was just gonna be doing arts and no crafts. All right, let's do this a much smarter way. We can do a bunch of them all at once because we're just making one cut down the middle. So that one's going over there. All right, we're almost there, guys. Almost there, almost there, almost there, almost there. There we go. We got those. We're going to snip them right there, and we're going to snip them off over there. Here we go. Here we go. We need that's trash. That's that. That's that. That's this. That's that. That's garbage, but this is legit. There. There. Okay, now we're going to get the hat. I'm going to put every name inside the hat. I'm going to bend it once. We're going to put it in the hat. Fold it over. Fold it over, and that way I have no idea who we're going to draw. I have no idea who's even in here. Nothing. All right, fold this guy. And then I'm going to put it up here anyway, so we won't even be able to see it. I want to be able to see. Why are all these just like so long? There we go. And we're going to fold and fold. Jones going in there. You got tons of people. Susie, Aaron, right? If you guys are still watching. If you're still watching, someone named Sophia is going in the hat. Let's see. Someone named Megan. Someone named TJ is going in the hat. We got a Bob in the hat. Is that the real Bob? Hey, we got a Josh in the hat. Does that mean I win if I pull out my own name? I mean, it's not my name. My first name. My first name. Let's see who else. Looks like a Jacqueline and a Rick. Looks like an April we got in there. We got a little in there. Now we're going to close those guys up. I almost didn't fold these guys in. There we go. We have a Steve. Somebody. We got a James. Got that. We got a Judy. Judy. And an Ashley. Oh, guys. It's getting close. I've only got a couple left to put in, too. So, Chantel, I can read that one. That one's Emma. I can read that. I got Kylie. I can read Kylie's name. Perfect. Jessica, Paul, Megan, and that's a piece of trash. Get the little shards of paper, you know what I mean? All right, what's this one? That's a Lindsay, and that's a James. That's an old James. Okay, we're going in. Only 4 left. That's Brady. And Sheila. And then, what's this last one? Oh, that was a mistake. that was a misspelling, a spelling error. Okay, we got names in the hats. Are you guys still watching on YouTube? What's happening over there? I gotta see real fast. Are we at a good angle over here still? So remember, if you get drawn, you're gonna win your choice, your color choice, multiple color options. I have them all being delivered to my house soon. I spent like $180 on hats. Don't tell my accountant, okay? Spent $180 on hats, all sorts of colors. They even got a new yellow one for me, so if you guys want the yellow one, right? So, it's not about hearing all the names, right? I had to write down all the names. I didn't read out every name that was in the thing. Come on, guys. How long do we want to be here for, right? And there's going to be other chances to win, too. So, here we go. We got a ton. They're all inside. Oh, don't want to lose one. Ha, ha, ha. We got them over here, right? We're going to put it up here. I have nothing in my hands. Where are we at? As of right now, we have nothing in our hands, right? So, I'm going to reach in. And this person is going to message me over on Facebook. A brand new hat. I know, paint happens, right? It's very cool. Here we go. I'm going to pull it out. Look, I've got a ton. Here we go. We're going to do it until we just have one left. I can feel it. Oh, there went one. I can feel it. There it is. Jamie Lynn. Is there a person named Jamie Lynn still watching? Because Jamie Lynn just won her choice of hat. Now I got to go back and find Jamie Lynn on this ginormous list. My goodness. And then next time, I'm putting a cap on it. For sure, I'm putting a cap on it. Let me see. Hey, Jamie Lynn right there. There you go. You won. You win. Boom. Send. Is she here? Can we do prints of this painting? Yeah, right. No. Yeah, I'm not joking. Everyone's joking when they say that. No one. Watch this, by the way. None of them fell out, really? It's like a magic trick. And now I'll have to clean up my studio again. So, I want to say goodbye to you guys over on YouTube. It's been way too long. Way too many minutes of Paint with Josh up here. I don't know where Jamie is watching. She might have been watching on Facebook. He thinks our love for this painting is... No, that's not true. I'm going to explain why right after I say goodbye to YouTube. So, take care, YouTube. Have the rest of a good day, and I'm so thankful that you guys stayed here and hung out for number 900. It's insane. So until I see you guys on the next one, brand new YouTube video coming out on Wednesday, and it's actually the mountain one that London and I painted together over on TikTok. So if you missed a TikTok show last night, you'll be able to watch it over on YouTube. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day, and bye-bye.